Welcome back, CCG fans. We are, of course, jumping straight in here as CCG looking to take some more wins and carry themselves into these higher positions as we start off with, is that a butterfly knife? Quite a nice knife to start off, but let's see. It's going to be an A hit to start with this one off. It looks like it's going to be Feral for the moment. Jumping in here. See what they can get from this. Smoke setting up, but not much to start off in terms of peaking, but we might get some action here straight in Donut as they have taken the site. The shots are coming through. Damage has been taken, but site firmly in control here. Let's see what they'll be able to do with this. The bomb has already been planted. It's going to be a slow take here. Really want to make sure that this retake is going to be as solid as possible. Running straight in here, and I think I'm also joined in here by Inflict. How are you doing, Inflict?
Absolutely fantastic. I apologize for the delay. There were quite a lot of technical mess-ups which I had to face, after which I am joining. But it certainly is great to witness CCG playing their second round of playoffs later.
Yeah, as we do see, it's a retake on site. The shot's coming through, but Casper does get the kill here, and the defuse was attempted. It will be hit, and there goes the bomb. There goes the round, and CCG take round one, but lose all their members in the round as well. So a good start for CCG here, but they did lose everyone. That's not a great start either. You kind of want to keep someone alive, right?
Yeah, you absolutely do, but their ancient pistols really have been shaky for the most part. I'm surprised they were able to clinch that one out. Uh, I mean, CCG, honestly, they're on attack. It's usually been one of their more weaker sides, although this is a map which they have played quite often. It's just something they've struggled with almost forever.
See the setups coming through now from the T side. Balaclavas at the ready. Smoke's going over, and it looks like they're just splitting up here. They're poking and prodding, trying to find the right entry here. See what they can go for. We do have some HEs in response to get ready to throw down that long corridor, but right now everything quite safe and nothing's been spotted. They will spot someone. I made a couple of shots, I believe, have just been fired through there from the CT side, so they know something is going on, but it's nice and slow. Making sure to find everything they can as they're heading into Cheetah now. There goes the frag. There goes a bit of damage. Chinchilla taking a little bit there as Casper now stepping back. Need to be careful here because they don't want to give up too much, but as time ticks down here, see what they can take. A2 still sitting on the site. It's nice and safe though for the moment.
Yeah, but they're rotating away the CDs. They have two players who have moved over towards middle. This could go to absolute shambles in the blink of an eye if CCG timed this perfectly. It seems like the execution is going to be just on point. James Chinchilla, though, has fallen. The rest of the CCG, they're on site. Merkin, he's making his impact known. MJB going to follow up as well. And suddenly, the round which should have been CCG's has fallen apart.
Yeah, and the rifle going over as well puts Merkin in a great position, but it is decent work if Lardot might be able to get something back off this one. No, there's the deagle, there's the shot, there's the pickups, and that round looked easy for the taking. It was a 1v5 on site, but Merkin just holds it down, doesn't let anything get the better of him, retrieves the rifle, clears it up, and look, it's not a round we want to be repeating in the CCG minds for the next while, but it looks like they're good at playing this kind of slower pace. We just need to see them actually execute it properly and not miss those shots.
It certainly, I mean, all came down to timing towards the end of things. It felt like CCG had a chance of, but while they were running into that three-man stack of the CTs, that certainly was not going to be pretty. It sure still wasn't pretty still, but that American with that MP9 really just turned that round on its head, all by himself over towards Cave. Now again, a little bit more aggressive this time, over towards the same positioning. Understandable though, he is playing up against pistols only. Has Ellis to help him out. Ellis tries the first two, make it three. Merkin follows up with another and an easy clean round to kick things off for Xiaoma Gaming on the CD side with a rifle.
Yeah, that's the rifle round. That's usually how they go, but we will see the full real round come through. Now we will see armors and rifles come through, and I'm slightly worried that they gave up an easy round there and they could have taken a very good lead, but Look, Merkin and Ellis taking over that cheetah and outer area. We'll set them up nicely for this one. Let's see if CCG can break back into this. It looks like it's going to be a very fast B hit here, and they're zooming forward and they want to get moving, but there goes the molly. There's a good chunk of damage taken out there. Let's see if they can make something work here. Merkin's gonna peek through that smoke, but here comes Ellis. The fire will set them back for now, but MJB will jump out, get one. That's not what they needed, and Casper has an idea that they might be in this corner, but they don't check their back. They will be in trouble if they don't, but they do manage to get it. MJB does manage to pick another one up with the pistol. Ellis manages to get one as well, but CCG, they're just routed every single time here. Chinchilla with a lot to do, but manages to get a couple of kills. Will they be able to clean up the rest of this as HE in hand will get the bounce and will actually bounce back, so he won't get it where he wanted to. Flash over the top, looking for the peak. MJB waiting patiently. Bomb not in a great position here. Rear Chinchilla's in, I'd say, no man's land in this one, but does manage to pick up an AK. Low HP, but it's all down here to PL, and it will be an easy pickup once again, and they've fallen behind here.
Yeah, by a big margin, considering somebody who won their pistol. I mean, honestly, the amount of real estate that is being denied to CCG quite early on behind those smokes, it's really impressive, and it just feels like that Xiaoma Gaming, they're forcing CCG to play aggressively. They're forcing them into taking desperate fights, which we saw. We saw a couple of players push through the smoke, but it didn't feel unanimous because there was a player who stayed behind over towards B main as well, who didn't push through the smoke either as soon as J Casper went out with behind the flash. So there are communication gaps clearly going on between CCG. They have to take a time out perhaps and sort them out, because for the time being, it seems like Xiaoma Gaming might start to run away if this if things keep on going like this.
Yeah, we also do have to remember always in the back of our head that the CT side is always one of the more favored sides when it comes to Ancient. So keep that in the back of the head that they've got a pistol round so far. If they can pick up, let's say 4 rounds, that'd be a good enough half for them, I think, on the T side. T side is so difficult to play on Ancient right now. It's very easy to defend. Let's just put it as plain as we can. The angles are just always nearly favored in CT. They just have much better positioning, and if you can communicate well, you can do a lot of work. But for now, it is a good step out from Farrell. Will pick up a kill onto PL, as we want to see what they're able to do with the rest of this. The bomb will go down. It's a 3 versus 3. Good positioning, and the rotates are a little bit slower, but they have to hold off this donut, and Farrell will get the jump, will get the spot, and will get Merkin. One of the key players here has fallen, so that should give them this round, and this might be their chance to bite back in this series, as Floridot hiding behind that box should notice someone's there. Does not get the peek as K2 will take that one down. There comes the tap. Will they be ready for it? Another smoke to clear them off. They will be able to spray this one down. They have good positioning on it, but can they hold it off? No, it will be the defuse, and that's going to be a major kick in the side now for CCG.
Yeah, this was probably the closest round they've had for themselves in a while, where they held the lead as well. They just couldn't have anything which would have helped them push through the smoke. They would be running straight into the rest of the players off the CTs. Losing the player to K2, who was stood next to the box, that was really the biggest hit and sort of the round decider in that case for CCG as well. But again, for anybody just joining us, we do have Feral joining us on the side of CCG today, because Korn unfortunately had some medical problems. I believe he got his teeth taken out, so he's not feeling that well. And he has been a star rifler, and he was the MVP of the last game as well. So CCG are certainly going to be feeling that kick to the roster as well.
Yeah, of course, you always have to watch when someone is missing, but Casper stepping up right now will get that first opening kill. They're going to spray through the boxes as well. There's decent damage done, but it is not enough to take them out. MJB still standing strong. They do eventually fall. They've gotten the site. The bomb still sitting back. There will be a bit of spray back there, as they are in a little bit more of a tough position, but at least they've got the site. Go back and retrieve the bomb. Hold your angles now, but they do have step outs. The smoke is here. Lovely smokes coming through, and Ellis does manage to take Casper out. Floridot manages to get one back onto Ellis, back through, so very, very clean. Looks like it could be a save even coming through here. Xiaoma are a little bit of trouble now. They might go for 1 or 2 exits off of this one. Maybe they'll find something they will as Chinchilla just getting picked off again in that mid.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is something that you have to give some validation to CCG for as well. They've made the last couple of rounds real close, which is why we see the CTs forcing up, sort of saving up here as well. The CT economy in its current state is absolutely horrendous, and hence why we see both of these two remaining players sort of desperate to just hold on to these weapons. You lose a few players, regardless of the fact that you've won 4 rounds in a row, your economy starts to take some hit. It may not be as major, but it's still going to be something, and which is going to impact your performance in late rounds, where you might have the thoughts of saving rifles in the back of your heads.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I think there's going to be a pause coming through here, so a bit of communication will be going back and forth. See if it's communication. Hopefully, it's not any issues coming through or tech issues. But let's talk about it a little bit because that AWP is still being saved. The rest of the economy is not in a great position for Xiaoma. So, how do you feel like they're going to play this one with just the AWP available in this round? Do you think it's a kind of a safety round? We'll just try to hold on to the AWP, or is there a case of is there a play to be made?
I think that we might see a couple of SMGs, MP9s being pulled out because there are two players who are close to the 3.5k mark. So I wouldn't be surprised if they decide to pull out a UMP or an MP9 to try to complement that op and just sort of play behind that. One have an SMG on each of the sides and see if you could find a frag or two behind it, and then decide whether you want to invest that op into a potential retake of the site as well. And if you can re-access one of those SMGs while you're deciding to retake the site. So I think it's going to come down to all of that, but it seems like we're only going to just witness some pistol upgrades, and that's a little bit unfortunate because they have converted around just behind SMGs and pistols in the very second one. Sure, the rifles weren't as strong on CCG's end at that point, but they still were working with a better arsenal.
Yeah, let's see what they can do this time around. As we do see Ellis stepping up aggressively with that 5-7. Mollies are out, Flames are here, sending people back, but they're pushing up on this one. K2 sitting just in this corner. Will Chinchilla be able to find it? No, it's rushing straight past. This could be disastrous if they don't check that corner, because you don't want to give them free shots to the back of the head. Chinchilla, oh, it's going to be the Zeus, it's going to be the Zap, and it is the worst way to die. That one's going to sting.
There's not a lot of things that are going right for CCG, and just going with Floridian falling to Zeus. I mean, anybody falling to Zeus, it's a horrendous feeling, really. But CCG, they're still at an advantage considering the weaponry that they have to work with. BLX2, he could be the only real threat to CCG right now if they continue to pursue this. But James July has two up close and personal, gets traded out, and that's an AK, which potentially could be retrieved. So we might have some ray of hope here finally for the side of Xiaoma Gaming. Not anymore though. MJP taken out, Ellis spotted, and if he dies, there's nobody there to pick up the rifle, and realistically, he's not going to be allowed to live long enough to see another day. BL2 forced to get aggressive. He gets one, tagged down to 8 HP, but still living. One versus one, surprisingly. Alice has found a frag with the 5-7 as well. Behind the flash, he peeks out. Casper onto the side, 50 HP himself. Both of the players only need one shot realistically to put things to bed.
Yeah, it's rifle and op, but pistol is out. Will they be able to spot something here? There it is. There's the shots. And CCG, they managed to take another. They're building it back in on a side where I've always been historically. I've never liked playing on the T side. They're doing incredibly well to drag it back from what had happened from a couple of messy rounds. I think they're starting to warm up in this series here, and we do have a technical timeout coming through for the T side as well. So hopefully that will be cleared up really soon. But I'm starting to get a little more comfortable with how they're playing here. And how are you feeling about them now after a couple of really good rounds, much better shots coming through? Do you think that there might be a little bit of hope kind of coming back into us here, Inflict?
Oh, absolutely. Again, Ancient is their own map pick, so they certainly know, or at least should be. They should know what they're doing. They have played quite a few games in it in the regular season, and they have their reps down. They've certainly scrimmaged a lot as well, from what I can tell. but they just usually have a slow start on this map. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but it takes them some time to get the motors moving, to get the engine going, and once they do, that's where they keep the rhythm going. And if somebody can break that momentum, that's where you see CCG start to struggle. So it's realistically just going to come down to whether or not Xiaoma Gaming can chain a few rounds together in response to what CCG has brought to the table. They've won a couple more in a row. They're still CCG still isn't as strong as they could be. And again, as you've said, the side it's not the best to play on Ancient. The CT certainly is side is going to certainly help them a lot. Although they also are working with a substitute, so there are quite a few variables at play which could go against CCG here. So only time can realistically tell us how this is gonna pan out.
Yeah, the time will tell, but looking at the economy right now, Xiaoma are in a little bit of trouble here. They're very, very low on their buy right now. If they lose this one, they could be in a very, very desperate situation, as we are waiting for a player to rejoin. Um, we are going to have a second pause coming
Ah, there we
through,
go.
but there it is. There's a reconnect. So we should be jumping straight back in here. And I think the B site has been a little bit easier for them to take in the past. But I feel like when they're hitting A, they're a lot more comfortable on that side. What would you think here, Inflict?
Yeah, I think whenever they're hitting B, what's working usually for the part of Zhao and Gaming has just been to have played it really aggressively themselves and try to respond that aggressiveness of CCG with immediate resilience. And if that gets shut down, that's where things start to sort of fall apart. Their retakes have been a little bit more successful over towards A, but their aggressive defense, if that makes sense to anybody, has been much more successful over towards B. So either they need to stay true to their roots because it has worked out for that 4 rounds in a row. They changed things up a little bit. They tried to test out a few different things where they went 2 players over towards where they sent 2 players over towards middle instead of on the B side to take that aggressive map control, which we mentioned quite a few rounds earlier, and it just didn't work out for them. In CCG, they might still not be prepared to take that sort of a playstyle head on, so it could work out. But again, mid aggression shown from the side of Xiaoma Gaming, a one-on-one trade to kick things off, but CCG are still slowed down.
They are still slowed down for the moment. It's a decent trade. We'll take it, but right now I want to see just forceful maneuvers here. I want to see them take this with conviction and see if they have it in them. That Molotov going to go over the top, try to clear out some of that corner, but this is where the peaks come through. And historically, this is a place that they've lost. If they don't get past this corridor, they have been in trouble. So all eyes on PL and MLB to be able to get something from this. Dangerous one, but there's a step out. Merkin gets one, Merkin gets two. They do manage to trade it back in the end, but that's a big win for Xiaoma here. CCG, they are breaking onto B now. They need to be quick here with this one. There goes a couple of util flying about, sending him out, but he does manage to get Farrell anyway. The shot doesn't land with the op either, and that is messy and not what we wanted to see.
Not at all. Merkin's impact with that MP9 has been absolutely fantastic so far in the rounds where they've wanted him to show up. He certainly has, and this is exactly what I was talking about. They played aggressively yet again. They had a crossfire set up right over towards the B entry, and they smoked CCG off. They forced CCG to fought behind the flash and with absolutely no knowledge about where the players are or might be. So again, they play that aggressively over towards B. They take the real, they take the same map control which they did prior to the rounds where they were winning in that B round B aggression from CCG, and hence it works out for Xiaoma Gaming yet again.
Yeah, and that op coming through for PL already takes out Trip, sends them back to where they started. They started off with a good pick, but it immediately gets shut down. See what the next step is here as they try to come through Cheetah, as they also wrap around towards A. This is a little bit of a sneaky maneuver here, and I'm liking it. I'm liking the idea behind it, but A looks pretty clear. It's donut control mostly here that will be covering this one, so this could be a very good take for them. See what they can do with this. They are breaking through. The grenades are coming through, but Ellis is one to watch. He does miss the first shot, but does manage to get the second. Chinchilla does fall. Yeah, that's messy once again. They have to be able to get those shots off, and this is going to get a quick rotate. The bomb is down, and as Ella's taking out Feral as well, it's just not working out as MJB cleans that one up.
Yeah, and there wasn't even one thing that you could pinpoint in that round. There was just a lot of small mistakes which collectively just made this whole round fall apart. I can't realistically tell if CCG are feeling the pressure of not having Corrin around too much because, again, having a star rifler who can just pop off in some particular rounds and carry you through the moments where your team is struggling, it's absolutely key and sometimes necessary to help a team win out a map as well. Corrin not being here, Feral, they may be a great player, but the team chemistry takes an impact as well when you're not playing with your main roster. So CCG, I mean, they're struggling on their own map pick so far. A good start to just a pistol round. They found a couple of rifles here, so, and an entry into the A side as well. So there's some hope.
Let's see what they can do with this. This is going to be something we're going to have to watch over the course of this one, is that when they're fast, they're good. When they slow it down, they seem to be in a little bit of trouble. But right now, everything's looking good. Bomb is down. Good positioning, and it looks like it's a lot of safety coming out here. The other side.
Oh,
There it is. There's shots. Chinchilla manages to get that, but PL with that op once again picks up another. Good movement, but the bomb ticking too fast. Now they'll be able to step off this one. That is a brilliant pickup for them here to bring it back to 6-4.
yeah, CC, you're gonna be really happy with that. Didn't invest a lot into the round. Didn't have armors either. Just played it off of pure aggression, and it worked out. James Chinchilla finding a high impact frag, forcing the remaining two players to go on the run, try to save those rifles. CCG wouldn't even mind losing their rifles because they didn't buy any in the first place, so they're gonna have enough money to go for full buy in the next round, regardless. Not the same case for the side of Xiaoma Gaming though. Although it should be a pretty decent buy for them, still the player with the ops has 6k. He should be able to drop a rifle. The player who saved the M4 had about 4k as well. So there's another rifle for you. So yeah, we see three M4s, an op, an MP9, and quite a lot of utility to go into the penultimate round of the first half.
Yeah, see if they can keep this one up as we have another timeouts used for the CT here. So both teams really thinking about every single step they're taking here, which is absolutely wonderful. At the end of the day, though, 6-4 is a great little start here. That swap will be coming through now very, very soon. And if this could be evened up here, I think we could be in for a great series because once that CT side comes through, I expect CCG to just take over because that is the side they should be strongest on.
Yeah. This time around, again a sort of a split approach, but no presence over towards middle for CCG. Gonna change that, but Yama Gaming once again, same aggression over towards B, which has worked out for them numerous times. A lot of utility being spent over towards A to try to gain some attention, and that's certainly gonna help. Jay Jitila finding the first frag, make it two. They found an entry, and they're gonna be worried about it, but still the read. It's actually magnificent from the side of Joma Gaming. They've not let the two players move away from the side, and it works out. Although Feral, he's found two more in retaliation, leaving only one player behind. It's PLX2 yet again on an island with an op up against three.
Yeah, really, really good work there to take that one down. It's all down to PL with this op. No money left after this. They can clear this op off of the map. That will definitely change that last round going in. Great work so far. Let's see what they can do. Chinchilla is low, but is still peeking around trying to find something here. And I'm surprised they did just the force towards that spawn. That's usually where I would go looking, but they are going to just sit back for now. That bomb is going to blow, and it's another great round coming through there for CCG. And they're on the rise here, and if they can even this up, I would be putting them in for win number one here. And that's all we really want here, right?
Absolutely. And it seems like they're on the right track as well. We talked about how CC are sort of at a disadvantage given the side that they're on, and they of course having a substitute playing as well. but they've still pretty much tied things up. And after this round, they should be able to do so as well. Although we can't say for certain because those MP9s have proved to be quite fatal for Xiaoma Gaming, particularly over towards the B side. So if as long as they can avoid facing Merkin, specifically on B again with that MP9, then they should be good.
Yeah, stay away from the MP9. There's something about SMGs that just tear them down, but they're going to walk straight towards one of them here. PL with that off, got to watch for that mid, and it usually is a Chinchilla trying to get control of that area, but there it is. There's the shot. Missed for him, but PL takes out the first pick here. At least they have some information to work with. They're going to work back towards B, which is the heavier stacked site here. But quick rotate, quick movement, and Feral going to cut back into mid. No, it decides maybe I won't try and face check that up one more time, and let's see if they can break onto this site nice and quick. The Eagle ready and waiting. Couple of shots going through. There's the fire. There's the flames. There's the shots. Do they spot one? Yes, they do. There's a kill. Floridop jumping in, ready to go. They find a second. Casper manages to clean one up, but there's the swing back, and that's a great take.
Yeah, keeper was isolated away from his teammates. All of them picked off one by one, leaving only two behind. That op still in the play. K2 though, he's gonna fall, leaving that op yet again all by himself against three. He is gonna take two players out of the equation at least for the time being, as he smokes them off. But realistically, he's gonna have to pass through them eventually to hop onto that defuse. This round just feels like done and dusted for CCG, and they've pretty much tied things up here because realistically, there's just not enough time for PLX2 to deal with three players and hop on the defuse. And there you go. There's the confirmation from CCG. They tie up the first half. Slow start, but good ending.
Slow start, good ending, and just a little bit more work. And they've got map one, and that'll set themselves up nicely to try to get a quick 2-0 here. Let's see what the next step is here, because it comes to CT, and it's all about that first read. If you can read them on the first round, get your pistol and get rolling early, that is sometimes just the difference maker. And let's see if they've got a good read on this one. It looks like they're going to go just for the mid rush straight to B. They've read it wrong for this one.
Yeah, that's not a pretty first read for CCG, but I guess it is gonna come down to whether or not they can retake it and make up for the wrong read. They've sent one player to investigate over towards A, and he certainly spotted them all out. Hence the rotation being called. And they have a defuse kit on Floridian, so he's going to be a key player to keep alive as the bomb starts to go down. Merkin going to be the planter himself. No shots landing on anybody just yet, but MJB gonna change that as Floridian, the player with the defuse kit, has fallen. That's gonna be a key frag depending on how long it takes for CCG to get back onto the side, but they haven't found any frags just yet. KJ Casper and Farrell change that up quickly. Two players fallen, defuse kit retrieved, and they're gonna hop on the defuse, not for the time being. Ellis, good for two with the Glock, no smoke to help them keep the players away, and K2 finds another. Whoa! They picked up a smoke and utilized it with the perfect timing and hopped on the defuse immediately. So never mind. CCG.
That's great work. Great work to get the defuse, to get that round, regardless of how the rest of it went. That's what we wanted to see. The read, they just rushed to B. They had a good retake. They managed to get it. That's all that matters. But I still want to see them reading it just a little bit better. So all eyes on their setup going in every single time now. The fact that they could retake it like that, that's fine. They get it done. But I want cleaner CS coming out here, and let's hope we get it here with the CT timeout coming through. They're obviously talking about it now. They're talking about all the information they've gathered from that first round, trying to feel out how the Xiaoma gaming team are going to play this one. And I'm comfortably confident in this one.
Yeah, you certainly can't rely on gambles to go your way, because that last round, it certainly felt like a gamble where the final player was just defusing through the smoke and relying on its safety because the rest of his teammates had fallen. And it wasn't looking too pretty, but it certainly is going to be a challenge for the CCG this time around here as well, because it is a force by Xiaoma Gaming to got the plan down and 4 kills their way as well. But Jay Casper, a huge frag to kick things off, as he doesn't even have to face off a player head on. Gets one through the wall. And now in much trouble, and that's already gonna put CCG at a man advantage.
Let's see what it's looking like now. Is Merkin is the one that's slowly peeking into this one. Trip, MP9, sitting in the corner. Will they find this one on time? Farrell waiting with that incendiary, but no one is going to be rushing down that side. The rotates will have to come through, but as soon as they pull off of Donut, the actual transfer goes over through mid. So Chinchilla's actually given that space up. That could be an issue for the future as Donut control has been taken. Bomb is still sitting behind near spawn, so they could go and retrieve that and maybe make their way onto a site. But for now, slight advantage is over, but there it is. Chinchilla manages to get the pick. PL falls, and that should be the round for them. 5 versus 3.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the D side has had to go for a save already. Sorry, the CT side. Wait, what? Am I?
T side.
I'm
T side goes for
no.
save.
The number 7 I thought was a T on it. It was on a T on my screen. For some reason he was he was marked yellow until we moved until the camera moved away from him. So I thought there were 4 T's alive, while on top it said 3. So I got confused a little bit.
It's all good. Don't worry. But another quick win. That's all that matters. They've picked up another. And how are you feeling about the situation now for CCG? Because we're getting evidently closer to map 2. Do you think they've done enough here to put
I
themselves
mean,
in the right position to take the whole series? I know I'm talking hypothetically, very
oh,
future wise, but are they in the right position?
I mean, they should be, because given that the next map is Nuke, CCG absolutely love to play that map, and although it is Xiaoma Gaming's map pick, it still theoretically should be really good, given how dominant they have been in in the amount of times that they've played Nuke. They've even won a game 13-1 in the regular season, so there's absolutely potential for them to close it out rather comfortably within just the next 2 maps as well. And if need be, we can go to overpass. And even in their very last match, CCG won an overpass to kick things off in playoffs. So they have absolutely set themselves up for success here, because all 3 of the maps in the map right now are just theirs. They've had many reps on it. They're feeling confident on it as well. And given the momentum in their favor right now, I believe that's like 5 or 6 rounds in a row for CCG secured. They're looking fantastic.
Looking fantastic, playing fantastic, and slowly closing this one out for all the praise we had for Xiaoma at the start and everything they were doing. They were playing it correctly. They were doing well. All seems to be falling apart now, and it's tough here. The match is paused once again as the teams get their final bits of setup, but it's looking really good and really strong. And CCG, I'm really looking forward to seeing how they're going to do in this next set of matches. But for now, money, decent. Couple of rifles here for Xiaoma, but they could break that one down nice and easy. And it's going to be all eyes, I think, on Chinchilla to get that opening pick as we've seen him do before.
Oh, absolutely. Chinchilla has really stepped up today. I mean, sure, his KD may be negative, but the impact that his frags has had, it's absolutely phenomenal. Jin Casper as well, currently leading the charts for CCG with 14 frags, 9 deaths. Farrell being a good substitute with 11 frags themselves and 8 deaths and a positive KD. They're good. That's good to see. Overall, though, CCG, I mean, they absolutely had a slow start, but their recovery is actually what I was talking about very early on. They generally do have a slow start on this map, regardless of the side that they're on. But once they recover, once they find their footing on the game, that's when they just start to run away with it. And if a team can break that momentum, that's when you see CCG struggle quite a little bit, and the match can get perhaps even get pushed to OT. But if CCG can keep this momentum going, it realistically shouldn't be too much of a problem for them.
That's the hope, that they get this one nice, clean, easy with no problems. But as we know, with all CS, anything can happen in these games, and Nuke will be the one we have to keep our eyes on. But right now, B push coming through. The read looks good to send a double tech mid here. They do jump through the flames, but
Oh
Casper,
no.
you're looking in the wrong direction. That might not have been the correct decision there. But it looks like Trip here might be looking to do what they
Oh.
did to him before. But no, the shots are off.
Somehow Trip concedes quite a lot of damage just through the smoke. Chinchilla trying to make up for the lost brothers. It's only good for one, but hasn't completely neutralized the man advantage. It seems like a rotation has been called in, a slow one, at least from the side of Xiaoma Gaming. They're moving away towards A, so Chinchilla once again is going to be absolutely key in this round. As he's going to have to hold on. Both of the fights technically isolated out, but he misses his first one. Falls to a no-scope from PLX2. And that's going to open up the whole side and potentially call for a save from the side of CCG.
Yeah, the plant coming through now as well, and that just looks like it's going to have to be a save round there, and that's honestly, I think that's just a big miss. I think that's just way too much given over, and could put themselves in a very disastrous position. But we'll have to see how the rest of it goes. They're still in the lead. It's just one round, saving a couple of rifles, but money on Chinchilla is gone, and that could be a defining factor in whether or not they can take that control, which Chinchilla has done before. And you've been watching a lot of these games, Inflict. How do you think the players have been stepping up as the regular season has passed into these playoffs? Do you think they've been stepping up every week, or has there been some people kind of falling off as it went on? Is there issues popping up that you haven't seen them fix yet?
I mean, honestly, they did start the season with a new player. SRY used to be their primary opper last time around, and Jake Casper stepped into the roster, who used to be their substitute up until last season, now in the main five. I think they've actually readjusted to that change quite nicely. Prior to this, they were a relatively more of an aggressive team because SRY's op was the major factor which this team revolved around. But now they're settled into their own roles. Everybody's doing their own thing, and it's all pretty well defined. I think they were struggling quite a bit at the start of the season. Sure, they were winning games, but the games were quite close. But by the end of the regular season, it just felt like they knew what the team was doing. Their communication gaps were quite nicely filled out as well. So they've really nicely grown on each other, and hence we see them put out their perhaps their best performance in any regular season that they've done so far.
Yeah, we see now the hold coming through. Chinchilla's in a great spot, manages to get one little bit of damage as well off the rest of it, so put themselves in the right position to maybe take this one. Farrell is sitting high and wide, and he does manage to take out Merkin, looking for more. Great damage as Florida does get it from the other side, but there's the shot from PL. That's the opera we have to watch out for in these games. That's one, that's two, that's three, and he is just picking them off nice and easy. Trip gonna set himself up nicely. Smoke comes out.
No.
The shot is there, but it's a leg. It's a leg hit. He manages to get it back. It's a 1 versus 1. Has to be a spray down. Has to be shots. But he's just going to hold. But no, it is found. MJB bringing it back from the brink.
Quite literally, that I believe he was just a couple of seconds away, maximum, from getting that defuse. It was a real close call, but CCG still don't are now that's gonna start to hurt them. Their economy has been completely broken down. We see 3 SMGs being bought in, a couple of M4s, no defuse kits this time around. So they're gonna have to be a little bit more aggressive with their retakes, or just try to deny a plan to begin with. They should be able to do it better on the B side, given that they do have 3 CTs available. Well, exactly where the execution is coming in from the side of Xiaoma Gaming. A one-on-one trade to kick things off, and that's an M4 taken away already.
Some great work. It's a good trade. The MP's setup here. Chinchilla is covering Donut to the best of his ability. PL set up with that op to try to get that high ground look, but no one's peeking it yet. Nice and safe. Things you love to see, but there comes some util. There's the rush, and Casper takes out Merkin. Big hitter down. Op will be trying to set himself up, try and cross this one over, but no. Florida is just him right now. Great work, great push, and that's what we needed to see.
Absolutely. I mean, them losing that M4 would have been a big hit if they weren't able to make up for it. But James and Jilla now trying to hold on middle. There is a gap which could be exploited and is going to keep the players a little bit pressurized on the side of CCG as well. Pinch coming in, potential pinch from over towards A, but the timing may have been absolutely right. Farrell spots out a big frag. MJB fallen for absolutely free. No trade coming in. As Ellis is now in a 1 versus 3 and realistically can't deny this defuse. Sure, he's going to hop it off, but that spray through the smoke was just good enough to almost make him dead. And CCG, after losing a couple in a row, have finally put together double digits and gotten that 10th round on board.
Yeah, they've gotten to their double digits. It's always a big turning point in terms of confidence and morale when it comes to that. See if they can keep this energy up now. So they just have a little bit more to go and they'll be able to take this one. And they might not be the happiest with how clean it has been. But when they're looking good, they're looking great. And when it's an even game, it looks like Xiaoma just have a bit of a better push on it. So see if they can clean this one out. Finish this one off. Great work, great push. Great reads so far to send most to B. We want to see from them. Don't give them an inch. Don't give them the opportunity. Here comes the turn. No, it's been just utiled off and they've slowed them down really well here. No transfers to A. Now going to push someone back through spawn to cover that. They don't have enough information to work with. MJB is going to step up. Chinchilla is wanting to get aggressive here. Maybe push forward through that smoke. MJB going to do the same here. He'll be able to spot Casper out and does get the shot, does get the headshot, and does get the sight.
The timing was a little bit awkward, but he still manages to pull through. Finding the first blood, that's going to be absolutely key. As they look to enter into the side behind it. Drip, though, it's not going to be pretty for him. He's literally standing next to somebody, and MJB going to realize it sooner, and hence capitalizes on it. Ellis finds another from middle. And one by one, the whole site has fallen apart of CCG from what felt like should have been a good hold over towards B. Was able to put up no resistance whatsoever to the aggression, the silent aggression of Xiaoma Gaming, as it seems like they have secured their 9th, as the rest of the 2 players of CCG are already looking to save those rifles.
Yeah, another bomb will detonate here, as there will be, hopefully, some picks coming up from Chinchilla here. Will they get them quick enough? They will get one. Are they going to check the rest of the tunnel, or are they going to sit back? They're going to sit back for the moment. They're not going to give themselves over to the op that is waiting there. PL will take a little chunk of damage there, but no, that is another one for Xiaoma. They're closing the gap here on the double digits, and you've got to worry a little bit. K2 does fall as well, so another great take there, as it is after time. So a little bit more damage to that economy, but the money is not there right now. They don't have the funds to bring themselves in.
Yeah, that round was going to be absolutely pivotal, regardless of who won that, because both of these teams had absolutely no money in the reserves. So CCG, if they win that, they secure their 11th and likely their 12th as well. But now that Xiaoma Gaming have come out on top, we're likely looking at a tied up game yet again, and this is exactly what I was talking about. Momentum has been broken from CCG. Now the pressure is going to be on them to retaliate and take control back into their own hands.
Control to be taken back. Feral getting passed over, just that weapons being thrown back and forth as usual. Skins to be transferred, but let's break this one down as quickly as we can, because this round I think is the one that they need to be able to pick up, and they're putting all of their eggs in the Chinchilla basket, as that is the one rifle they have, and Chinchilla is going to go aggressive, going to go fast, and hopefully not give them the opportunity to get something, as they will meet on that far side more than likely now in a couple of seconds. Will it be the first pick off here? 2 sprays go down, Chinchilla falls, and that's the only rifle they had.
Yeah, the round pretty much already done and dusted. As Floridian falls as well, only two remaining. I think it's pretty safe to say we're all tied up 10-10. Just waiting for the confirmation as Strip is just counting his days and perhaps mere seconds as Merkin will finish him off, and both of the teams now all tied up. Both of them 3 away from securing map 1.
Really good work there. Bring this one back. Double digits tied up. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be very, very tough here.
Uh,
Let's see what the
oh,
plan is gonna be from here.
got
That's
this.
interesting.
Yeah. Uh, let's see what exactly they have in mind for that one. I believe that's Strip who has pulled it out. And he's playing real close with it. Couldn't actually work in that particular angle, but now that he's gonna have a little bit more to worry about, given that Jaden Chinchilla has fallen outwards middle, we're gonna have to wait and see how much exactly does he convert out of it.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. Shotgun is
Oh,
it's a choice. It's definitely a choice, but Farrell does manage to take out Ellis. That's a great pick. There's the reverse peak though as MJB wins that one. Casper manages to get one on a cross shot. Just manages to drag the crosshair across the face and takes out K2. Casper will step out with the flash, but won't get it as MJB and Markham will clean up the rest of that site. Here comes one more. It is Farrell coming in and just ripping them apart.
yeah, a
You know what?
good read.
It's not terrible.
Yeah, and particularly in those fights as well, in the mid round, there were quite impressive reads from Xiaoma Gaming. As soon as we saw Jay Casper coming out with the flash, the anticipation from MJB alongside his fellow to look at those particular angles, one outwards cave, they were hoping to face off against a double peak coming in, and that's exactly what happened. They were able to isolate those fights out due to it, and oh god, Farrell! He's taken out the planter, hence given CCG a ray of hope in this round. It could be a 1 versus 3 for him. Bomb planted yet again. How's the smoke to work with? The timing's gonna be everything, and he wins it. Farrell with a 1 versus 3 to put the advantage back on CCG's board.
Yeah, nothing quite like getting a quad to bring yourselves around ahead leading into the last few. That is a massive win for them there, and I know that that op is going to be very important for them. But economy for both teams in great positions. They're going to have the money to buy into this last one, and you know this round is pivotal. If it goes 12-10, they should have it, but if it goes 11-11, it can go either way, and that's not what we want to see right now. We want to see CCG clean this one up.
But if it goes 11-11, we'll probably see CCG fighting for OT because they have no loss bonus now. They won a round, so that's gone out the window. So they lose one round here, they're gonna have absolutely no money left in the bank. Not even their average isn't even $500 right now. Actually, that might be given that Farrell has 2K, but it's probably just close to $500 right now. So that's certainly not gonna be impressive. This is a must-win round for CCG here.
Must win round. A lot of work needs to be done. Lots of SMGs. There will be one rifle coming through there once again for Chinchilla. A lot of fate being thrown in Chinchilla's hands. Just want to see them win that one time. Looks like it might be actually mid for Chinchilla here as smokes will drop onto Ellis. Util going over the top. We'll see if any damage will be done with that HE, but for now, they've slowed down this push. They're actually MJB's attacked the teammate there, so a little bit of chip gone over there. Keep an eye on that. But right now, let's see what the push is going to be. They do manage to spot out one of the defenders there, so they know that this one is stacked if they're stepping up that far. Farrell takes out Ellis, and that could be curtains. Ellis has been so pivotal in these pushes. Here comes the rush. Are they ready for it? Casper, eyes on you. He gets one. He doesn't get the second, but damage was done. What else can be picked up here? They do have the site. They do have the positioning to get this bomb down. Now comes crunch time. The spray down does not take them out. Damage, but no kill. There's the HE. There's the kill. Trip to clean. It is a 4 versus 1, and it is all CCG favored.
they're gonna be very happy about it. And as you said, Farrell with that op finding Ellis early on was a huge impact frag, taking that lurker out of the equation. Who CCG have been constantly annoyed by Ellis's awkward positioning, which has forced them into ridiculous or desperate moments, perhaps, as we saw Ellis just usually looking for gaps and playing off of it, finding one free frag with absolutely no trade coming through for CCG. Getting him out of the equation early on, real key. And Jay Casper, he was good for one the initial engagement over towards B as well, further slowing Xiaoma Gaming down, and afterwards it was just a nice team play to put things to bed and give CCG the map point.
Map point. And it's a messy one to start it
Oh,
off. Merkin manages to get Chinchilla in the mid. It's a rush. It's fast. It's pace-wise. It's everything they need. But Feral is there with the op. Takes one out immediately. The rest are coming to cover Donut while Feral takes out MJB. Feral is insane. Floridoc gets another one with a HE and a kill onto the last. They've done it.
There certainly were now. It's given how it seemed like the momentum has once again shifted in favor of Jama Gaming, but with K2 falling, CCG have confirmed it for us. They win their own map pick, sure, a little too close to call, perhaps a slow start as well, but they're certainly going to be happy with that win. The 3 round deficit between both of these two teams, and a difficult one, but a win regardless.
Yeah, a win regardless. It was closer than they would have wanted, but all that matters is that they pull it back out. And we can see just the scores coming through there. You can see that there was some mishaps and a bit of messy gameplay, but it all came down to just getting the right read, and you just saw them take over. If they start the round well, they finish it well, and sometimes just absolute clutches coming through. And Farrell with that op was he stepped up, definitely stepped up as the rifler as well. We have to give a lot of credit over to Chinchilla, right?
Yeah, Chinchilla 100% stepping up, making up for the gap that Goran's absence had left and coming through when his team needed him the most. But that was map one done for the game, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to have new coming up next, which is Jaume Gaming's map pick. Although CCG do enjoy their casual nuke from time and time again, so it's certainly going to be interesting to witness. But before we head onto the map, we're going to be taking a short break, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, CCG fans. We are back and we're about to jump into map 2 in just a few moments here. But let's talk about map 1. It wasn't as clean as we wanted it to be, but we're heading on to Nuke now. And we'll have a quick look at the video while we're doing that. But I want to kind of pick Inflict Brain as they are one of the kind of usuals here. How do you feel about these bans coming through the picks? Is there anything standing out to you from either team here?
I mean, I'm actually surprised that Xiaoma Gaming went for a nuke pick here because it's not one of their best maps either. Although they have quite a few reps on it, they've played 5 games altogether in the regular season on nuke. 2 of their wins went 13-11. One of them was an OT, and one of them was a loss entirely with a 13-6 margin, I believe. So it hasn't been one of their best performing maps, although it's won them quite a few. It's given them a win quite a few times, but given how CCG has been really fluent on this map as well, uh, it's going to be tough given look if you're looking at just the stats for Xiaomi Gaming to make a comeback, and given the momentum which is already in favor of CCG already.
Yeah, it's one of those maps that if they're not too comfortable on it, we might see something special from Xiaoma on this one. But from what you're saying, I believe maybe they just maybe thought they could maybe take something here. It's going to be an interesting one to try break down. But I think the thing I'm looking at the most here is Nuke is a map that especially for some of the teams that I've been kind of jumping in and casting with and keeping an eye on. There's a lot of teams like Verdant at the moment that are nuke specialists that has a couple of Irish players on it. So I kind of keep an eye on them, and the way they play nuke, it puts fear into teams. And I'm hoping to see CCG kind of have that style of when you're playing against them, it truly feels like they know exactly this map inside and out, and you just look lost on it. But we'll have to see how they start this one off. As let's talk about CT side on this map. How do you feel
Oh,
about being the defender first off?
I mean, this is probably the most dominant side on a given map. If I'm not wrong, in CS:GO, Nuke CT is something that you absolutely want to start on. It's probably your best shot at getting up early, even with a 9-3 lead or a 10-2 lead, and I wouldn't be too surprised about it. But now that we are officially in the pistol round, CCG, they're certainly gonna have to have a good start. They won. They didn't win the first pistol round on the first map. The second one was a gamble as well, but they need to make this one a little bit more cleaner.
Yeah, there's got to be a bit more presence from them here, I think is the best way to put it on this. But there's the first couple of shots coming through as Farrell does get taken out by Ellis, and it is just clean here on the attack so far, as it is a quick round, and that's usually how pistols go, and that's not what we wanted to see from the start from CCG. But great work coming through already from Xiaoma.
Certainly. Only with a loss of one player, they got the bomb down. He kept four alive as well, so that's going to be something beneficial to look for. But CCG going for a force buy here. It seems like we are going to, unless they win this round, we are pretty much going to maintain the rhythm of having a slow start and then making a comeback happen. But I think it's actually nice because now that they are playing with Feral, they're gonna have to test things out a few times. So testing them out earlier on and putting any errors out as you move along, as early as possible is certainly gonna help them out in the long run.
Let's see what the push is like from here. A little bit slower paced as we do go into our first real guns round. There's a little bit of damage taken from that fall, but we don't mind that to start. See what the idea is here going forward, because this is where we'll see Bruce strength come through as the Mac 10 in hand Merkin. But Trip in a nice little spot there, hiding behind box. Feral does have that SSG, does land the shot, but takes a heavy chunk of damage as it will be picked up by K2. Zeus gone, rifle retrieved, not taken out in time. Had to cock the chamber, it wasn't enough. Here we see Jasper does get one back, and they're picking up a few kills and getting a little bit of work done, but here comes the reload. There is the kill, all down to Floridot now. Chinchilla has fallen to that HE, so a lot of work still to be done.
Certainly, and I wouldn't be surprised if Fleur just moved away, try to find some exits, and that's exactly what he's doing. Just going to try to hold on to that defuse kit alongside that Galil. Another a force buy from CCG, not too fruitful for them. We only found a couple of frags behind it, so that's gonna give a hit to the economy a little bit, but it shouldn't matter too much because CCG are not gonna have a buy themselves. So a good start for Xiaoma Gaming, and perhaps a necessary win for them as well, given how the first map ended for them as well. But CCG, they're gonna have to make a comeback real soon because they cannot afford to have a bad CT side on Nuke.
No, they cannot, and this is something you spoke about. It's like it's a map that they're comfortable on. We want to see the best from them on it as well, and right now they just don't seem to be hitting the mark. So let's see if they can pick it up from now. Just the one rifle available to them, so they're letting us slip for the moment. This should be a nice 3-round start here for Xiaoma, but there's the first bit of flame, and Jasper, or Jake Hasper, has been sent back, and it's slow. It's messy to start this one off.
That it absolutely is. All eyes peeled for Florida though. He's gonna be a key player and probably the only key player for CCG in this particular round. Unless these 5-7s can convert something magical. Farrell certainly looking for that. Drip again out with the Zeus. Gets one. Immediately traded out. But Farrell still placed all the way up top. Floridian falls. Two frags still gone the way off CCG. So on 1 versus 2 now. With Farrell picking up that AK. There was a ray of hope, but it's not going to last long as he gets finished off. Another round. A good one for Xiaoma Gaming as they go up 3-0.
Yeah, 3-0 now. The small chips to the economy, but not enough to worry still, and that's where we have to be keeping our eyes for the moment, as we have to keep an eye on the economy. We have to see how they're doing, but more importantly, when they're falling behind like this, it really starts to set the tone of how the rounds are going, and they're not going the way we want them to right now. If you're a CCG fan, and seem a little bit worried on the map, and Xiaoma, for a team that historically hasn't done too well on you, they're looking very composed here on this T side.
Absolutely. Still, now that they recognize that CCG are likely going to have a full buy here, playing this rather slow, not as aggressive anymore. Doing their due diligence towards outside. They may have a lot to face off against. Feral, though, not going to be one of that problems which they have to deal with any longer. Making their way towards Secret, Jason Chinchilla first, and perhaps the only line of defense. Good for one, traded out, but he has neutralized it. And now Casper looking to follow up. Good for two. That's the bomb dropped. A massive frag coming through, leaving only one behind. MJB falls as well. It was 6-0 up until that point. But finally, CCG coming alive on the scoreboard, securing their first. And in a rather clean fashion as well. Jason Chilla and Jay Casper, both of them. Huge impact with those 2Ks.
Good impact, good work, and that's the round we wanted. That's the round we needed from them, and just need to see more of that. Great work, great rotations. It's a little bit of rap play there sneaking in behind, but we're liking
Ooh.
the style, the aggression, the great shots. Trip is just built different.
Absolutely, Trip now out with the op. That's if he keeps on going like that, it's gonna be a problem for Jaume to deal with. But I have dealt with him for the time being, at the very least. At the loss of two players, don't have a lot of utility to help them push through onto the site either. Only one smoke to work with for the time being, and one of their fellows is actually really weak, just sitting with 14 HP. That's Ellis, a high impact player on map 1. Continues to provide for his team on map 2, as well as he's found Jay Casper. 3 versus 3.
Tucked into corners here and not overextending, covering themselves off, and great start.
Oh no.
Chinchilla does peak though and loses his life for it, but information has been passed. Let's see what the response is going to be like, as they're still covering the right areas here. There's the shot. Florida manages to get one. That smoke will be useless for now. There will be a couple of shots fired forward, but they're doing okay.
Oh, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Never mind, Feral. Got that awkward timing with PLX2. I couldn't convert the second frag, hence Floridian now in a 1 versus 2. PLX2 gonna hop on that bomb, waste no time, absolutely, as he already has that information on that last player. The read is gonna be absolutely perfect, and Floridian just walks into his crosshair, a round which felt like should have been CCG's, given the start, has suddenly just fallen apart.
Yeah, they fell apart. They didn't hold their angles, and they just gave up too many kills. And now we'll see those mixed buys coming through as they try to force some sort of way back into this one. But it's starting to look very, very worrisome here from a CCG side, as it's 4-1, and this is a map that we truly believe they'd be able to take this one 2-0. But Jay Casper sprinting back down, gonna cover off, break that glass, get themselves in the right positions, and the util is heavy on this A side, so this should be the opposite of 1-1. As PL is a little bit later on that rotate, as he was covering outside first.
Yeah. Safety first is what the saying goes, I believe. But how long can they remain secure is the question. They will be against Chinchilla and Florida, both of them taken out of the equation. K2 barely surviving, just 4 HP, as he's mistakenly stepped onto that Molotov, but the bomb is going to go down. And I wouldn't be surprised if CCG already decide to back off a little bit and perhaps try to save those 3 weapons. It's not going to be pretty, but it's just something that they have to deal with and work with for the time being, because their economy absolutely in shambles. The scoreboard not looking too pretty for them either. So they're trying to get a little bit desperate now.
Desperation is starting to lead through as the bomb is planted and everyone's just kind of giving up on this one as MJB is going to go on the hunt. Jake Casper is going to
Oh,
get taken out by Merkin, not quick enough on the turn. Will be Trip hiding behind red box as well. And Ellis will actually fall to the explosion, but it's all looking up right now for the side of Xiaoma. And what do you think is going wrong here?
I mean, honestly, there have been just so many things which went wrong. Even in the round, even in the fourth round win for Xiaoma Gaming, we saw Jaden Chinchilla just went out for an isolated peek. He gave that frag away for practically nothing in return. He dealt a little bit of damage. He got some information behind it, sure, but in a 3 versus 3 standoff, you shouldn't just go giving away free fights like that. You sure it's a gamble, and if the punishment of that one was really massive, you win that round. CCG, I believe, would have had the momentum and things would have looked a lot more prettier for them, but I think losing that round and that one fight in particular, in round number 5, I believe, was absolutely brutal.
Yeah, brutal is one way to put it. And still these mixed buys coming through. It's looking worse and worse for CCG. Florida already falling there as we do see the first molly go through. But Chinchilla manages to get a great pick off there. Will they be able to retrieve that gun? Merkin does take out Farrell in that up. Or area heaven will be locked down, and he's ready for Casper on the retreat as well. So once again, they just have great control here. Chinchilla is on a rampage though. It's going to be sneaking around, getting those rat kills. You see MJB stepping back up onto the top to retrieve that bomb as Chinchilla's actually hanging out just outside. We might see another one come through. There it is. Chinchilla is just opening up here and taking everyone to the shop as he also has the bomb.
Fine, a ray of hope perhaps behind it. Trip's gonna have to be highly impactful though. He is the one holding a much more of a primary weapon, but that 5-7 won't connect. Awkward timing. PLX goes wide. The MP9 connects onto one, but isn't good for the other. Merkin finishes it off with a Glock around, perhaps too close to call for Xiaoma Gaming, but they clinch it out regardless.
Yeah, Clutch Merchant was online there for a moment, but the last few shots didn't quite work. Chinchilla misses those, and there was a ray of hope, there was a beam of hope, there was a lot of hope, but not enough for now. But they're back to having rifles, and we've seen them in bad positions before. Let's see if they can tie this one up and bring themselves back in, because if they can, their CT side, it might be okay, but if they can get onto T side and do just as well as they are, we might see a change.
They need to salvage this somehow. A 6-6, it's not going to be too great for a nuke CT, but it's going to be something. Trip out with the op yet again, connects onto 2. This time around, lives to see another day still. Not traded out. And might not be PLX. Barely alive, as I believe he got hit through a wall there from Trip. The accuracy, insane! It gets another through the wall. MJB falls. Trip likely on for an ace as well. What a monstrosity.
That's a round. We'll have to get replays on and watch that one back over as another one picked up, looking for the last. Will they get the ace or will they get cleaned up by the rest of the team? They step forward. They're looking for it. They want a Trip. You really want the ace? Yes, you do, as he takes it. CCG. That's how you break your way back in.
An ace to kick things off, and I was talking about this on map 1. Sometimes you need a player to step up and just push your team through, carry them through a few rounds before everybody starts to pick themselves up, and Trip might just be doing that job for CCG right now. A really impressive ace coming in, and it seems like they've already broken the economy off Xiaoma Gaming, given how close the last couple of rounds have been. It came down to 2 versus 1s and a 1 versus 1, so the money has been exhausted out. It's a mixed buy coming in for Xiaoma Gaming. So finally, CCG are looking at a round with with an Arsenal advantage.
Advantage is picked up. want to see. We want to see the push through the smoke here. No, they won't be able to as Casper manages to take one out. The spray down coming through as well. Florida a little bit worrisome there about that trade over, but there will be more coming through as Alice manages to get one back. But advantage CCG, more importantly. The AWP has been set up. Chinchilla's watching as well for those passes on to site. This looking like it could be another CCG round, and maybe the momentum is here. Maybe they just need to warm up.
Perhaps that might be it. It's another map where they just have a slow start and are making up for it as time goes on. Feral, a few shaky shots, makes up for it in that particular instance though, and comes out on top, leaving only 2 players behind. Alice spots one out, won't be able to get the frag. BLX now in a 1 versus 4, trips off, still staying true to its traditions and hitting the shot instantly. As CCG have finally chained together 2 rounds. And the economy on the side of Xiaoma Gaming has been completely put in the dustbin.
Yeah, that's big shift in tempo, and it's great to see them breaking their way back into this one, and it's all coming back off of that ace coming through, that massive spread just coming through, trip just popping off, and let's see what they can do with the rest of this. Here come the jumps, here come the hops, there comes the first peak, and it's missed. The shots, a couple of hits, and the fall damage as well will put K2 quite low, and Casper taking out PL, Casper taking out K2, Casper popping off, Feral does fall, Florida steps out to pick up 2 more, last one spotted, there's the one. The knife will not take out Chinchilla as they hold the rifle in their hands and say, not today.
Yeah, not a lot to be broken down in that round. It was just pistols, so pretty much Xiaoma Gaming were looking to find anything that they possibly could have. Wasn't allowed to do much. Only 1 kill goes their way. J Casper holds down his own. Floridian makes up for the rest. And but this is going to be a true challenge for CCG now. Finally, as a full rifle round comes in, for this is perhaps the first time we've seen both of these teams with all 10 rifles in the whole of first half. I may
I
be
believe
wrong.
so. I believe so. There's a couple of mixed buys in there, but never full real round coming through so far as the HE will fly past MJB. So we're going to try over some utility, drop them over the top. And it looks like a bit of a different setup coming through on the CT side. They're playing a little bit more aggressive now, a little more confident, but sticking to their angles as here comes the attack. Here comes the shot. Casper has been lethal up in that heaven position. We'll see what they can do with the rest of that. But right now, here comes the aim down the sights, and Feral will take out Ellis. Chilla, no, it steps out a little bit too early and gives it over as MJB will take out Florida from behind that vent, and Feral now realizing he's in a little bit of trouble.
And he needs help, and he needs help desperately, and he gets it in the face of J Casper. Picks off MJB, gonna allow Feral to make a move, but not for long as BLX finishes him off. Trip, on the other hand, falls as well. Casper now in a 1 versus 3, make it a 1v2. BLX has fallen, and he does have a defuse kit to work with, a couple of nades as well. So there's certainly a chance for him to clinch this round out, and CCG have enough money so that he doesn't have to worry about going for a save either. But the only problem is he does not have a lot of HP, currently sitting at 39, I believe. So that could be a problem because he can't just go for a diffuse through the smoke. It would have to be a real good gamble on his end to come through with a diffuse like that.
Yeah, Xiaoma will take that round nice and easy. They do get 7, which gives them the win for this half, regardless of how this one ends. It's last round, getting 7-5 would be perfect. It'd be fine. For how it started off from 6-1 to bring it back to 7-5, it would be exceptional from the side of CCG. But we expected a better turnaround to start this one off, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, I was even that high in delusion that I was perhaps anticipating the scoreline to have been 9-3 in favor of CCG by the end of the first half, but it's quite literally the opposite of that, as it's the T side who is going to be ending the first half of Nuke on a lead. Quite unusual, but it's CS. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen in CS, and right now, Casper's taking out Ellis to start it off, and it's just a spray down, everyone back and forth with advantage to CCG, but can they hold on to it? No, they can, as MLB will get it back, but there it is, 7-5, and hope remains here for them to take this one nice and clean with a 2-0.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're not going to be too happy about it, given how the result came through for the first half. But they're going to be happy about the salvage that they did. That's 4 round wins in a row, and it's something. Sure, CCG though. Now they're gonna. It's mandatory for them to have a strong start here. They have to win this pistol round and tie things up behind it earlier on and build up some momentum afterwards. But because if they have a bad start here, and given that Xiaoma Gaming are on the CT side as well, it could turn out to be a real easy map for them.
It could completely change here, but here comes the T-side pistol push. We're not going to see the mess that we saw in round one, where it just went
Oh
up and
no.
down. His trip takes out Feral. That was a bit of miscommunication there, as Casper also falls, and that could be the end of the round here for them. But we do see Trip is getting very aggressive, very fast, and pushing for this one ASAP. You do see Ellis is in the corner waiting for Chinchilla, and that's not the start they needed. Killing your own teammate is never a good sign.
Yeah, and it's not it's not good when you have a disadvantage already, and that's the first frag you find at the start of a side chain. Strip now desperately trying to grasp onto any frag that he can get. Hasn't been allowed to get anything though. Bomb gets planted over towards the other side. Trip wants to rotate over and help his teammate out, but is being currently denied the real estate to do so. Will get finished off eventually. And that's the 8th round on board and another pistol for Xiaoma Gaming.
Yeah, at least with the plant, they get a little bit more in terms of funds, and might seem to be able to pick up something off the back of that one. But it's 8-5. It's another pistol for Xiaoma, as you said. They're starting off well, and we kind of want to see an immediate turnaround come true here for CCG. Will they be able to? That's the big question. I think they have the capability and skill to be able to do that, but with how comfortable Xiaoma have been on this map, it's been surprising to say the least. But I'm looking forward to seeing more of this team on Nuke. Maybe, as you said, it probably wasn't their strongest. They look very comfortable here.
Yeah, I guess it's just the amount of practice that they've had on it. Sure, their wins have been really close, pretty much the last round of regulation or perhaps even OT at times for Xiaoma Gaming on their wins in Nuke. But it seems like they have learned from their mistakes just enough to put up a strong showing against CCG. And they continue to do so, as this is likely just going to be a 9th round on board, a 4-round advantage for them at the start of the second half as they win a flawless.
See what the plan is here. It's looking very messy here. CCG, what's
Yeah.
going wrong? What would be the thing that you're looking at that's standing out and going, we're missing something here? Is it just that key player missing here? Is it the sub stepping in that the communication just isn't the same?
I mean, it realistically could be because all the credit that we have given to the CT side being so great, in order for you to counter the CT side as well, you need to have great communication just because of how strong that side is. So when you don't have that, when you're not as well accustomed to a player on your team, it could be an absolute struggle to break through a CT hold on Nuke as well. So on the second half, that absolutely could have been could be the problem which they're facing, and we saw it very early on as well, where Feral, the substitute, was the first player to die to the hands of Trip as well. So it certainly is a really big aspect to it, but in the first half, I guess just having a bad start as well, the mental impact it has. CCG, they just need to take a time out and sort of reset there because it feels like they haven't been able to recover from that alone.
Yeah, but Trip recovering well there, managed to get one. Does get traded back though by PL once again, doing decent work as they try to rush down, get this plant in nice and quick. Try and put the foot on the gas just a little bit and try get them to play into them. Casper's going to step out, will take out K2. So there's starting off well here. They just need to keep that momentum up, but no, Ellis will say no to that. Farrell will manage to get one back. Casper will manage to take out a second. They've put themselves in a winning position, but MJB has been monstrous in some of these situations. So don't give them the opportunity, as the vent is the option, and it will be a step off.
Yeah, just gonna go for a save, I believe, or perhaps some exit frags instead to just try to deal an extra bit of damage onto the T side economy, because it's not too pretty. And Florida confirms the frag. The 9-6 still keeping things a tad bit close. A 3-round difference still between both of these two teams. But CCG, this is where they need to start to run away with things. They need to win this round and break the CT economy, because that's going to be the only thing that's realistically going to go in their favor consistently. That the CT economy is just so terrible that you beat them in one full round and they're pretty much gone for the next two.
Yeah, that's the plan going forward here. Bomb dropped, step forward, Casper. All eyes on them now, as I think they have the highest ranked player on the team, at least on Face It. See what they can do with this, as the HE goes over the top. Send back. Damage. Not seeing too much of a transfer just yet, as K2 setting up for this one. Casper watching that smoke dissipate slowly, move around. It's very cautious here, and we just want to see that explosive blow onto site that we saw that worked for them previously.
Slower approach, CCG taking their time with this one, but eventually are going to make a move, as they have Molotovs and flashes being lined up now. But actually, there's a difference in the flow of the wind now, as CCG are moving over towards ramps. I believe they will be facing off against PLX2, who's tucked away over towards red box. Spotted out, dealt with. Massive opening for Floridian. Now Merkin's going to be the next line of defense. He's going to have some help coming in from Wentz, but he's not even going to live to witness that help, as JJ Gillette picks him off. Some great frags coming in from the side of CCG to kick off this round. And perhaps we see another save being called out for the side of Xiaoma Gaming, as they've already lost their immediate defense. And that's just the call of all of them going back to their spawn, going for a save. They don't have a lot of utility to retake the site, and hence can try to make some magic happen in the next one. But CCG, they're further out, closing the gap, and now have put up their 7th on board.
7th on board. Yeah, it's looking great. It's looking good. The comeback is beginning here. And Inflict, I have 1,001 questions for you for what's going on, but right now I'm just happy to see that they're breaking back into this one, making it competitive. As we saw last time, they were the first one to hit double digits, and there's still that opportunity for them to do that here. And I think that might be enough for me to have full copium belief that they'll be able to take this 1-2-0. But I'm also kind of worried that I feel like some of their executes, they swing off of one good shot and one player on the team just becoming that carry in almost an instant. And sometimes you just need to be confident, I know, but I don't want it to be swinging like that. I don't want all of them to go like that.
Yeah, it's a real big gamble, one that could turn on its head at any given moment. It was a reason why we saw a very pivotal round being lost by CCG in the first half as well. You don't want to see that happen again. So it seems like they are doing their due diligence, at least in the beginning of the rounds. The mid rounds where a lot of the gambles are being pulled, but at least it's not consistent throughout. They want to gain a lot of information. They want to reduce the amount of angles that they have to deal with before they head onto a side. Bomb picked up, execute coming in over towards A. No immediate retaliation, but MJB eventually would like to peek out, as he has been smoked off. The nade will connect onto Jason Chinchilla, but not a lot of damage dealt, and the bomb should go down with ease.
Should go down with ease as they start to move over and try to get something going here. Trying to pick off the middle, and they do. Trip does fall.
Oh,
And just Merkin just getting a little bit excited there. Don't worry about it. It happens. I've done it myself a few times. And Ellis will manage to pick up Casper on the other side. Chinchilla will finish off
What?
PL. And that's just another. They're getting a little bit nervous out there, I think, as they're just managing to shoot each other now at this stage, which is wonderful to see for us at least.
Yeah, CCG fans rejoicing at that side, but would have been much more happier if it was lethal. Regardless, though, Farrell himself is lethal enough. He's found 2 frags now, a 1 versus 1 floor rigid. He just needs to hold on. It's a 1 versus 1. There's just not enough time for Ellis to go on the defuse. He does not have a kit whatsoever, so he's just on the run. And CCG, they've secured their 8th. Good showing.
Good showing, good movement, good map play, and yeah, Hope and Copium are starting to leak back in here just a little bit. Let's put our thinking hats back on though and try and break this one down. We have a bit of a timeout here, and Inflict, obviously you've watched this team a lot. You understand them at a core, and I was talking about the fact that their communication might be just a little bit off, missing some of their players, as you said, the subs stepping in. But it seems like it takes a little bit longer for CCG to get going and feel comfortable in their style of play. Would you feel like that would be the correct assumption here for how these games have been going?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I mentioned it on the map number 1 as well. It's just sort of the regular case. They often have a slow start. It may not be as slow as this one. They would often just go. They would win a couple of rounds in the in the very early round number of rounds in the first half, but then go on a spree of losing rounds, like 5 to 6 at times as well. But that's where they start to gain momentum. That's where they start to understand their opponent, and they build off of that. That's I believe what their strong point really is as well, and we can see exactly that coming into play as well. Once again, Feral off to a great start. The reads have been absolutely perfect, and so has been the timing. As Feral finds another, Casper follows up with another, and suddenly in the blink of an eye, there are only 2 players remaining for the CTs.
Yeah, really good work there coming through. Um, Absolutely mesmerized by it. These rounds have just been so back and forth, swings, hits, misses, and you do see that slow creep into the underground. MJB is still sitting on the opposite side, doesn't realize that they've moved over, as we do have a lurk coming through as well. Lardot now checking each angle with Jay Casper. MJB starting to get the idea that they might have moved over, and this is where they have to be careful once that rotate comes through, but they don't manage to spot each other here. Jason will have heard the drop and is there for it, but Merkin wins it. Below the stains all over the floor as Chinchilla falls, but the plant will come true, so control over to CCG.
From a 2 versus 4, 2 versus 2, Casper fallen. Floridia, the captain, needs to go humongous. The nade forces him onto an aggressive fight, and he loses it. A nice retake from MJB as he finds 3, and Merkin to help him out, and that 2 versus 4. A, a bad start. Feral was really good, really aggressive from the top of silo, but they just couldn't convert around behind it. CCG, they've started to realize what Xiaoma Gaming like to do, and that's exactly what I was mentioning as well. But this time around, they just couldn't convert around behind their reads.
Yeah, a little bit messy there, I think, on that one. We seem to have this issue constantly coming through of that we play everything correctly, and then the last moments we just seem to falter in our ideas,
Yeah.
and it's something that the team will have to work on. But in the meantime, the util being used, everything being poured through, and Jay Casper just trying to get some damage through the smoke, hoping that someone's on the other side of it. Right now, nothing to be found as everything slows down, everything is calm, smokes holding back. What will be the idea now? What is going to be the send? What is going to be the call as they start to pull back here? What is going through their heads?
Not entirely sure. But they do have enough sufficient time to make a play here. A minute still left on the clock, but they're gonna have to eventually commit to something. That is a big map. It seems like their commitment is going to come through towards outside. Ellis hasn't spotted anyone, so a safe entry towards secret for CCG, but PLX2 looking to change that up real quickly. Down to 6 HP. Forced to back off. That's going to allow them to enter onto the side. Sure, there is some help available, but it might not be effective since the players get smoked out. K2 and Merkin, both of them find the right timing. Hence, two players for CCG unfortunately have fallen, but the bomb goes down.
Bomb down, positioning not great right now. Slardot needs to make that escape. They do manage to just step out from danger right now, but Florida manages to get one. K2 manages to trade it back, though. It's getting messy as Ellis and Chinchilla are trading back and forth on kills, and there's more shots, and there's the defuse, and there's round 11 to 8 now, and we might be in for a long series.
Yeah, likely looking at a map 3, which is overpass. Because the economy on the side of CCG is not good anymore either. So perhaps it's going to be a fight for OT for them. And given the record so far on Nuke, it's not going to be a pretty fight whatsoever. You're going to
No, an
have to win.
overpass, one of those maps that can swing so easily at just the drop of a hat. And with how, I think the best way to put it is how clean and how even the game has been. I think is one of the other things we have to point out is that all these teams have been going toe to toe on every single map, and it's been quite close, and it's small incremental leads that build to give advantages. And right now the lead is in their favor as the shots come through, but it's not enough right now as Trip with that SSG will not be able to pick that one up, and PL with that op is definitely more comfortable.
Yeah. Trip's hop shots were really impressive on the CD side. The scout ones, not so much. Feral though, again another early frag for him. Jasper follows up and Trip connects. The scout in the mix has found a frag, leaving only two players behind, and it's called for save already. CCG, a really great round. It's not going to be a fight for OT, but perhaps a win in regulation is what they're looking for. As a flawless victory goes in their in their favor, although it might not be as flawless as the peek out, the spawn and lose a player, perhaps even more. Oh no, this could turn deadly. They don't have a lot of money. What? Why are they going for this?
This is looking messy here as stepping forward. Florida looking to try to get something from this, but Ellis and PL will clean that one up. The bomb will explode and CCG will get around, but giving up, I think giving up a little bit too much there in the end.
Yeah, there's absolutely no reason to commit all 5 players to that. They don't have a lot of money in the bank. They surely do recognize it as well. And it's likely going to cost them in terms of some weaponry and utility as well. If we see a Galil being picked out, that absolutely could have been avoided as well. But a CT timeout being called in, they're going to try to work with anything that they possibly can. It's sort of a mixed buy here, but still not too shabby. They do have an op, a couple of rifles, and M4, an AK in the mix, a shotgun, uh, a couple of defuse kits. Not a lot of utility from the looks of it, but that should change because a couple of players do have close to 2k. So yeah, there you go. More nades being bought in. But CCG though, you see, we might see another AK being purchased from Floridian, but it's a Mac 10. That absolutely could have been avoided if they hadn't lost 4 players in that push to the spawn. But that's I'm not entirely sure what to make of that push, honestly.
I'm not sure either. This is getting messy. We're seeing a shotgun once again in this series, and K2 is going to step in immediately with that and look for that aggressive pick through those doors. Going to tuck into this corner, and Farrell looks like it could be the first target here on the end of that pump as Trip going to step back up. Going to decide not to in the end, that ladder just for practice. And it's getting very, very worrisome now, to say the least, that they don't have an answer for this and they don't look like they have a plan. What is going to be the idea here? Chinchilla stepping up. Floridot is here. There's the push. There's the kill. That's an absolutely immaculate jump straight into his shotgun as
Oh,
Trip manages to get another. And they are making it work. Doesn't matter what guns you have, as long as you can land your shots, as Chinchilla will get the plant. There's the heaven. There's the push. MJB manages to take out Casper, but numbers advantage still there. They just got to take their time with it.
yeah, you know what? All my complaints about that push towards spawn gone. Doesn't matter. They win the round afterwards. They've secured double digits for themselves as well, and now have broken the economy of Xiaoma Gaming simultaneously. So we're likely looking at an 11-11 tied scoreline here because Xiaoma should theoretically have absolutely nothing to work with except those saved up rifles, which are gonna further get reduced down since BLX2 is now the last member remaining alive. It has the defuse, get a smoke and an op to work with, so that's a lot which he holds on. Never mind. The bomb, it's enough to destroy him as well. So absolutely nothing being saved in, no money in the bank for the side of Xiaoma Gaming as well. And CCD, they're certainly going to be rejoicing right now.
Yeah, rejoicing, hope reinstilled, economy in the mud here a little bit, and that could be enough for them to drag this one back to even, which we haven't seen. There's been such a lead all game, and
Yeah.
this could be the moment for them. They just need to win a couple more rounds in a row. It's a big ask, but it might be enough as K2 is going to stick into that fence somewhere. We saw Florida play quite frequently on the reverse of this one as PL2 is pushing up and getting aggressive here on the outside. And we saw Chinchilla get a couple of kills with a 5-7 doing that exact same play. Will they be able to repeat the Masters?
Again, a slower approach, CCG. They don't want to risk absolutely anything in these rounds. They want to be absolutely certain about their victories. And that they are. Lost two players in the mix of things, but that's all. That's very much all right. Then because they're pretty much won the round behind it, regardless. Only one player remaining. It's gonna be BLX2 with just a USP. So there's not a lot that he can do. No, not even pick up any rifles because both of the players who did die died right in the middle of the site as well. So then CCG's economy slightly built up, not too pretty, but they're gonna have just enough to have a full buy in the next one as well. So CCG tied things up, money looking decent, but this next round it's gonna be absolutely pivotal. Whoever wins that practically or theoretically should win the game as well.
Should is a big word for when it comes to CS, but let's see what happens next as PL goes for a dive off the top rope and hits the ground harder than he meant to. As CCG win that round, tie it up, bring us back. And look, this could be it. This could be the difference maker right here, right now. And how are you feeling going into it? How's the mental going into this one?
Shambles. That's pretty much
That's
how
fair.
it could be described because it could realistically go either way. Both of these two teams, as I've mentioned already, they've been going toe to toe. The first map extremely close, won by CCG 13-10. The second one currently tied up 11-11, and this round is going to be pretty much deciding who wins it. Unless, of course, but actually CCG are going to have a fair bit of money in the bank to work with even if they lose this. So their fight for OT is going to be a lot more prettier than the side of Xiaoma Gaming. So Xiaoma Gaming, this is a must-win round for them. They have absolutely nothing in the bank. So if they lose this, they're they're practically going to be working with SMGs or perhaps FAMAS at best.
The mass at best is a worrisome one for sure, as the match is paused still for the moment as we're waiting to jump straight back in. And yeah, I don't really want to see a FAMAS, if I'm going to be honest. I don't really want to be seeing weapons like that. But look, it all comes down
Moment
to
of
the setup,
desperation.
right? It all comes down to the setup for this round. If they set up
Mhm.
correctly for this round, they get the opener, they get the win, they should be in the perfect position.
Second last round of regulation. CCG. I believe that's three rounds in a row for them. which they've secured. Looking to make it 4 and get map and series point behind it.
Oh, bit of self-damage coming through there as Farrell also gets a tick of the fire. A couple of shots coming through. See if they can pick up something there for Casper, but nothing to be found as of yet. A little bit more time it needs to be spent on the range for that one. But look, a couple of steps forward here. A little bit more angle presence and they might have it, but everything's slowed down. No one wants to be the one to give that over as Merkin will get first sight here, will get first kills. Floridot goes down and MJB debating whether or not the vent is the best idea here, but the turn back coming through to head back towards A, that is the call here for CCG.
Yeah, both of these teams feeling the pressure right now. This is the first time that the scoreline has been tied up on map number 2. It was 6-1 at one point in favor of Xiaoma Gaming. Now both of these teams just 2 rounds away from potentially winning the map out. Chinchilla finds one trip, got 2 prior to that. Will get eliminated, but he's done just enough damage perhaps for CCG to clinch this round out. Chinchilla walking with 11 HP. He's practically a dead body already, and there you go. There's the confirmation. PLX2 spotted out, dealt with 1 versus 2 now. Ellis, highly consistent on map 1. He's gonna have to do something magical, and he does. First kill goes his way. Casper, 1 versus 1. 4 map point.
Plant held, shot ready, angle prepared. Casper, all eyes on you, and the turn, the shots, they're not there, and Ellis gets it with the defuse, will retrieve that AK as well. And that could be the difference getting to a map 3 here.
It absolutely could be. Oh no, that's gotta hurt from a strong start. Sure, he lost the first player, but the retaliation from CCG was absolutely fabulous. Trip gets 2 frags, Chinchilla finds another, so they were up by 2 by a 2-man advantage, but to have just lost it like that, it's not pretty. And now the map point for the side of Xiaoma Gaming. They win this round, they'll be forcing us to a map number 3. We'll be witnessing overpass, but if CCG can push us to OD, we're still possibly in for 2-0.
See what they do with this one. Smokes out, utility up, weapons bought, and one already traded back and forth. It's a messy start. Feral does fall to PL, who's still sitting in that spawn. Cheeky little position for that one. Let's see if there's any more of that. K2 still sitting up high here. No push, no presence, no worries. They want to stay safe and tucked in for the moment. It's a messy start here, and it's all going to come down to one big clutch merchant opportunity here as Merkin will step out, will get spotted, will get taken out. Florida, that's a big one.
Absolutely massive. 3 versus 3, man advantage neutralized. MJB though on the flank. This could be absolutely humongous. But the site has been taken over. Plant gonna go down. 1 defuse kit to work with. The smoke gonna keep Casper safe, at least for the time being, as MJB is walking close, waiting for reinforcements to arrive. Chinchilla, I think he's got an audio cue of somebody. The timing's gonna be everything, and he gets through! 1 player remaining, we're looking at an OT here. MJB tagged down to 47, up against 3 players. No defuse kit for him, and the time ticks down. Chinchilla goes absolutely massive just when his team needs him to show up, and he delivers.
Once again, Chinchilla with just the moment to bring them back in to this one, and that's everything they needed in that moment. We're going to go to OT. Money's going to be reset. Everyone's going to be able to buy up here, and Copium is back. CCG ready to play, ready to fight, ready to go. Xiaoma, they've had so many advantages and they've just let it slip by, but Chinchilla has been massive and not enough credit can go over.
Yeah, that timing. Oh, I don't know if I've seen a thing as beautiful as that. At least not in this week. No, not as good a start for Chinchilla this time around. Sustained a lot of damage, tagged down to 52, but did return the favor. A player on the side of Xiaomi Gaming has been tagged down to 50 themselves. So a pretty equal start for both of the sides, but this op could turn out to be problematic as CCG are starting to move over towards ramps a little bit.
Oh, that's not what we wanted to see to start this one off, as Jay Casper has been so pivotal in the decision making for the team. To lose them early can just, it can just shape up way too much of this, and right now that is worrisome. Let's see what the rest of the team will be able to do with the timing, though. Florida does get spotted out, does take a little bit of damage, but not enough. As Trip steps out, tries to trade it back, MJB will take it. And it's all looking up right now for the side of Xiaoma Gaming. Once again, Florida going for something. Will they be able to pick something up off it? No. It's looking too messy here for them. They don't have the angles.
Yes, good start from Xiaomi Gaming. Well coordinated, didn't lose their 1v1s. And that start from PLX2 was just what they needed behind that op as well, denying access to CCG, making them nervous early on, forcing them to push towards A. And MJB was prepared at an awkward angle to catch them off guard as well. Trip first one to fall over there, over in that area. But now CCG gonna get put to the test yet again to possibly try to change things up and retaliate.
Change of plans will have to come true. They'll have to find some angle, as you see Merkin back on that ramp, ready at red box. Seeing this one open up and then take the opening pick in the round that was kind of just there for the
Oh,
taking, as a great shot comes through as Florida gets chunked.
again that op proving to be highly impactful for Xiaomi Gaming as PLX2 gets away with one frag. No trade coming in either. He's just gonna play the safe now. I actually really like this approach from Xiaomi Gaming. They find a frag behind that operator playing aggressively and they immediately just all back off. They don't let much information get relayed over to CCG, nor do they try to nor also they try to reduce the amount of engagements that they take head on as well, preferring to just wait CCG's approach out so that they're much more well prepared. And that's exactly what they're doing this time around here as well. The smokes and flash gonna try to help CCG out as they enter into the side. The first kill goes their way. So same as the story for the second. Ellis, last one alive onto the side, is gonna have some backup arriving. Timing's gonna be everything though. Chinchilla, first one to fall. As it's 3v3.
The comeback is available, but they gotta watch their back here. Is Merkin getting ready to try to get something going here? Will they be able to find something? Trip. They've got the bomb, they've got the time, they've got the control. They just need to cover these angles and not give up any space. PL stepping out with that op. No, it's Jay Casper on the front, Beryl on the back. They've got it all sorted out. Here's Ellis looking to go big, but will be going home sore after that round. It is 13-13, and they've got it back.
Oh god, what is this map? We were 6-1 at one point where CCG were down by 5 rounds while being on the CT side. Who would have thought this would turn out to be an OT game where things are tied up yet again?
Anyone, because it's CS and literally
Yeah.
everything happens. It's just messy. It's just messy, and CS is just a magical place where anything can happen, and it's going to keep being that way for the foreseeable future, because they're just going to rush straight into this one. Fire and flames everywhere. Smoke finally clearing it. Ellis is pushed up. Will they be able to spot this one in time? As Trip will not, as Ellis takes one, Beryl takes another. It's a trade back once again, but sight looks like it could be controlled, but the fire will send them back once again.
It will. 4v4 though. CCG once again sort of on a back foot. as PLX is now making his way. That AWP presence, absolutely dominant, but good damage behind that Molotov, forcing him back. Just down to 20 HP now, but CCG looking to make their way onto the A side from the looks of it. They're going to potentially try to catch them off guard for the player coming in from whence. MJB dunked into a corner. Won't get immediately impacted by it, but Ellis is going to spot them out. MJB lines them up, timing absolutely gorgeous. Ellis follows up with one more of his own. And a well orchestrated round didn't take a lot to fall apart. It all came down to just one timing of MJB's to pull it all apart for CCG.
Yeah, it's another one. It's a scary situation to be in right now for the side of CCG. They've got to be able to pull this one back immediately. They can't let anything else go. And this is where I start to get worried, because you're starting to look at the executions coming out from the side of Xiaoma, and they just seem to be more orchestrated, regardless of how an early kill might swing one way or the other. They still have a backup plan, while CCG don't seem to have the same ideas. It all kind of comes down to Chinchilla being a little bit of a menace on the map and on the server, and just finding these weird angles to just take people out. And sometimes that's great, but you can't rely on something like that.
Absolutely cannot. You have to have your whole team showing up. But JJ Gisela, he has been a key factor so far, not in this round. Only good for one. Gets traded out immediately, and it seems like another clean round perhaps for the side of Xiaoma Gaming to kick off the second half of OT. As only two players remain for CCG. Quite far away for the time being as well.
See what they can do with this. Oh, it's a straight shot from Ellis to take out Farrell, and Markin will take that one, and it's a 15-13 now. And Xiaoma, they're looking to finish this one solid.
Yeah, one more round is all they need. While CCG, now they're either gonna have to force another OD or just concede. Backs against the wall yet again, but it's not a situation which CCG is unfamiliar with. Their
No, it is
backs
not,
have.
but can they drag this one back? We'll have to see what they can do. But Inflict, talk to me. What would be your game plan right now?
I mean, honestly, you just have to potentially try to bait out as many aggressive plays which you can, because now that the sides have switched CCG, their CT side was not as impressive, and they tried to play slow for the most part of it. I guess your gambles worked out in the second half, hence you were able to tie things up. Perhaps try to go for a couple of more gambles, and that's exactly what they're doing. You see some highly aggressive plays coming in. They're taking fights through the smokes and fading some smokes out as well to take those fights head on and try to catch those players off guard, and it's worked out for them. Two-man advantage very early on in the round, and very much needed start to a round as well.
Yes, that's definitely the important way to start a round, is to get those early picks in. Lord now still hovering around that, while Jay Casper trying to maneuver himself into a much better position. We'll get ready for that cross. PL with that up always has to be watched, as they can just do so much work with that one. As this looks like the round CCG can win. This looks like when they're strong and paired, as the swings come through, the information will be passed. And that's all they needed from that. No need to re-peak on that front. Trip ready for that door. It's looking good. It's looking solid. Just don't give anything else over.
Yeah, you have to be flawless. You cannot lose a single round anymore. Approaching the B side, prepared for it as Farrell lines up to bomb dropped as well. Traded out, but may have just done enough damage because there's not a lot of time left on the clock. 5 seconds remaining. They cannot plant the bomb. And CCG still alive, holding on by a thread. Need one more to push us to another OT.
One more round, one more opportunity, and that's exactly what we need from them in terms of pushing this one onwards. But
Oh, I mean,
it's messy, and it's a tough
yeah,
watch when you want them to take it.
absolutely. I mean, the gamble again. Their reliance on just 1v1s and sort of unexpected plays is so much. It's kind of unsettling as well. You saw those initial frags which went their way, all of them based off of timing. And I mean, timing is a really key factor, one of the biggest ones in CS. But you can't constantly rely on it. You have to have a fail-safe. And so far, it has just been that individual prowess of some of these players, but it seems like it's not going to come into the play this time around. 3 players fall and 2 remaining. One.
No. It's on to map 3, and that's where we have to go to finish this one off. And let's talk about overpass, and let's talk about what happened here,
Oh,
because it was messy.
it certainly was CCG. They took a lot longer time, a lot. It should not have taken them this long, honestly, to recover. There were a few questionable rounds, a few questionable plays in the mix as well, particularly the one which I've mentioned a couple of times already, the run in round number 5, where a couple of questionable engagements were taken. Those 1v1s should not have been given away, and that was a very pivotal point in the first half. CCG, if they win that round, they likely would have been able to close out that first half in their own favor instead of having to make a comeback and being down by 2 rounds while we headed into the second half. But their backs were constantly against the wall. So if they had just a little bit of more of a better start, honestly, I think they might have just won it in regulation, given how well they performed on their T side.
Yeah, maybe so. But look, we're going over to overpass, and from what you've seen from both sides here, is there any player or anyone outlying that you think might be able to make the difference here on this one? Because overpass is one of those maps I think Chinchilla could really get some nice flanks off.
Yeah, Chinchilla can absolutely make some nice flanks off, and Trip being the lurker, lurkers can have a lot of impact on overpass given how ridiculous some timings and angles are, which allow some timings to get played off. So Trip, I think, is going to be absolutely a key player to look out for on the side of CCG. And Jaden Chinchilla, you're going to hope to see that same consistency from his end. Feral showed up towards the end, towards the second half. The first half was really silent, but you're a substitute who is stepping in for a key player such as Goran. You need Farrell to be doing his job, and he certainly did in the second half. You're hoping to see some consistency out of them as well while we head into map number 3.
As we do head into map number 3, so we will take a very short break, but we will be back in just a few moments to bring you map number 3. We will see you all very soon. Welcome back one last time, CCG fans, for game 3, where we're hoping to see CCG take this one. We've been genuinely happy with how they've been playing, but not as how close it's been. Like, there's been some absolutely amazing moments, even the ace coming through as well, and Chinchilla's flanks. But we want to see that win. We want to see them get that dub in Flick, right?
Yeah, absolutely, and we have been happy for them for the most part. But I wasn't too. I wasn't. I'll be honest. I wasn't too happy with how the first half of Nuke went at the very beginning. Although towards the end of it, they did salvage it, but perhaps it was a little bit too late because at the end they ended up losing Nuke in the OT 16-14. But now it's map number 3, Overpass, a map which CCG won in their last game as well. It was the map 1 of their round 1 playoffs matchup, but they're facing off against some fierce opponents on this map. Xiaoma Gaming have played this map since November, I believe, 6 times, have not lost it once. Can CCG bring them their first loss, or will the reverse sweep be completed?
Let's see how it goes as Trip manages to open up onto Ellis and get the first tap there. So a great start. Chinchilla already in those wrap positions, looking to control the mid, look for flanks, and take control of this server as PL slowly starting to peek around this corner. See if Chinchilla will find these ones as he rushes forward with this with the pistols, gets the information, takes a little bit of health damage, but they know where they are, and that's half the battle.
It absolutely is. Can they win the rest of the half? That's the question, Trip. He surely does, but it will eventually fall out. Floridian follows up, leaving only 2 players behind. MJB, another trade to come through for him, leaving only 1 player alive. It's K2 in a 1 versus 3. And Jaden Chinchilla will finish him off. CCG finally a convincing pistol round victory goes their way.
Victory goes their way. Great start. First time we've seen a pistol win.
They have won 2 pistol rounds, but they have been real close, or pretty much a gamble.
Pretty much a gamble. But we take those. We'll take a gamble on this one. We'll flip the coin. It came up heads, and we're happy enough with that. But let's see what the next step is here, because we want to see them continue. We want to see them take leads. They've been undefeated on Overpass, from what you told me earlier.
Yeah. The CCG have won on Overpass, but Xiaoma Gaming have not lost a single one of their Overpasses since November last year. CCG have only played Overpass once or twice, I believe, this season. Farrell quite aggressive. Would have lined up too. Still gets it. Has the help of Jay Casper available, so going to keep the rest of the players away from that rifle, at least for the time being. Will eventually pick it up. But it's a 4 versus 2. That M4 has vanished in thin air? I'm not entirely sure where exactly that went. But they're backing off. Only with the smoke. Oh wait, never mind. They still have it, it's just that CSTE doesn't show it. Show what... Or wait, do they? This is actually confusing. No, they don't. Where'd the M4 go?
It disappeared into the sky. As it doesn't matter, as another round goes over to CCG, and that's all we care about. No one cares about the M4. They also have most of their members survive from that one, so they're in great positions, good money. But here come the rifles here for Xiaoma.
And this is going to be the real test of CCG's prowess on Overpass. They're off to a good start, something that we have been asking for in the last 2 maps, but CCG weren't quite able to deliver. But this time around, they have 2 early rounds looking for their 3rd now. All 5 defuse kits available as well. While it seems like Xiaoma Gaming, they're even fighting to get out of their spawn right now, playing this really slow.
Slow,
Okay.
cautious, prepared. The best way to put it right now. But Overpass being the final map, you have to feel comfortable as a CCG fan, knowing how they've played it before. I'm a little bit worried right now that the setup isn't right, that they need to pull someone back from that B site, but with that utility being thrown, we will immediately see that turn. But they all turn off it themselves. They're trying to get them to over-rotate here.
Yeah, and Xiaoma Gaming might have just done so. Trips rotated over, while the rest of the squad for Xiaoma Gaming has actually trying to move closer. The timing is going to be everything as Trip starts to move back. The smoke's landing in. The rotation is going to be fully called in as well. Flash gonna hold Markin off at least for the time being, and James Chinchilla gets to go out wide. Floridian finds the first, he gets another. Chinchilla falls with Floridian still alive somehow over towards Shorts, retrieves an AK. That's gonna be highly impactful as only 2 players remain. They have absolutely no utility to cover themselves off. Floridian's timing is gonna be highly crucial as Feral has fallen, so now they know where Floridian as he goes out wide, falls immediately, and a 2 versus 4 again converted for Xiaoma Gaming to put their first.
They get their first on their first real round. A couple of AKs picked up as well, so they'll be in a great position going forward for this one. Still a little bit more to be done from the CCG side, but all faith is with them, and we have to stay by our team here. See what the weapons are looking like. Couple of Mac-10s, couple of Deagle coming out as well. But a couple of rifles for both sides. But one of them definitely in favor of Xiaoma.
And not one body for me on the side of CG. Not even a single use kit for them. That's gonna hurt. The M4 that they had has already been taken out. We have one on already, but he's not even close to help them out. 3 players already fallen, and perhaps it might be a call to save those remaining weapons as the rest of the squad for Xiaoma Gaming's approaching the A side already. He's close by, might try to find some impact, and is good for one, but that's all she wrote for him as Jaden Vizela now left in a 1 versus 4, make it a 1 versus 3. Picks up an AK as well, and is just gonna run away with that.
Runs away, escapes, and Chinchilla, what is the plan? Are you gonna try look for anything here? I'm not too sure. So I believe we have audio issues right now, where neither of us are coming through the mic.
Well, hopefully that gets sorted. We have our producer looking into it.
And we're
we
back.
should be
That's all that
cool now.
matters.
CCG though, they've conceded 2 now, and their economy's broken down as well. Sure, they had a good start, but they've lost 2 in retaliation really quickly. That AK is gonna have to be key. It's on a key player as well. Chinchilla playing has been lights out so far in the series for CCG in both of the prior maps, but can he deliver a miraculous one to kick things off an overpass?
Miracles are and few between, but we don't need miracles. We just need them to play it the best that we know they can, and that's all that's going to matter. So let's see what they can do with this one. Merkin is stepping up aggressively, but he is going to get chunked out there down to 37 HP. Armor still looking good, but that's a great start just damage-wise. See if they can pull anything else out of this one, as they are holding safe for the moment.
A rather silent round until that point where K2 picks off Chinchilla. Grab. Gonna try to retrieve that AK. Won't be able to live with it for long though, but Feral, he's found one on the other end of the map, which allowed them to pick up a Mac 10. Sure, it's not an AK, but it's something to work with. Floridian sustains a little bit of nade damage, will get picked off regardless by an M4 K2, and this is going to be absolutely no problem for Xiaoma Gaming to hold on as they clean up the round and have taken their first lead on Overpass by winning 3 rounds in a row.
Yeah, really, really good work there from them. See what else they'll be able to pull out of this one, but for now, good positions, good hold. It's just a matter of you always get a little bit worried when Xiaoma start to take leads and they start to play like this, and I'm starting to get a little bit worried now about where that sub comes in, how much communication is missing, what's the main call here for this one, as they're lining up with the rocks to get those lovely smokes. Chinchilla will have to step off of that one. They know the attack is coming. The spray down isn't there. K2 picks up Chinchilla, and it's returned with Floridot. But Grip opening up does get taken out. It's messy. It's all over the place. MJB will take one and get traded back for it. It's a 2 versus 2 in the end. It's still in favor of them. Those rifles are better than a couple of SMGs, but can they pick up one more? No. Feral will fall all down to Casper here. And what's Casper going to be able to do with this?
One versus 2. Smoke and a defuse kit, but walks into the crosshair of Ellis, so isn't even allowed to utilize any of those, and that's the 4th on board. And once again, a similar storyline to what we saw in the last 2 maps as well. CCG, they secure 1 or 2 rounds early on, but the early momentum remains in the favor of Xiaoma Gaming as they've pulled 4 rounds together. Their economy is starting to look really clean now as well, with PLX2 currently sitting at 10k. The rest of the team averaging around 4k themselves, while CCG is on the very lower end of the economical spectrum.
Let's have a look here and see what the breakdown's going to look like, as tempo is low. Time ticking away. Nothing been spotted. There it is. There's the first spot. MJB picks one up. Chinchilla falls once again, and Chinchilla hasn't been performing on this map as well as before. Beryl also falls to PL. Casper will spray down Ellis though, so at least they get something on the other side of things. But they just don't seem to be reading it well enough to keep themselves in it for the moment.
Yeah, and the timings haven't exactly been going their way either. So they do pick up an AK though, from that one kill which Jay Casper I believe had, and they're just gonna try to hold on to it. MJB still lurking around, but silently. Trip manages to pick him off, but it's just not gonna matter nor in the context of this round because the bomb's just gonna blow off. There's absolutely no way a defuse comes through, so CCG conceding their 5th, that 2 in a row. And while being on the CT side as well, which is something that I don't think I've mentioned already, but it's pretty evident that overpass is actually pretty CT sided so far. It's not been portrayed in this game though.
No, it hasn't been, and I think that the tale of the tape so far is just they haven't been able to figure out how Xiaoma want to play this one. They have ideas going in, they set up and they go, this is what we think they're going to play, but there's always another answer. And I think that's starting to play in their heads a little bit, that maybe they're not as prepared for this map as they thought they were. And Xiaoma are just getting the better of them. I'll have to see how it stays that way, as I think historically throughout the series, we've seen CCG take time to warm up and be better when their backs are against the wall and be able to bring it back from the brink. But that has also been their downfalls. We want to see them take leads and look dominant, and they haven't been able to, at least for the moment, and that might be very important come the next couple of rounds.
X2 wanted to get aggressive with the AWP, but forced back a little. The smoke's keeping the rest of the squad at bay or towards Monster. Great nade. But still, really slow approach from the side of Xiaoma Gaming. And I actually really like this. They're constantly making those readjustments, which, as you mentioned, CCG have just not been able to read. Generally, CCG work very well off of their understanding of the opposition, but that readjustment makes it a little bit harder for them to be able to do so. This time around, though, Feral prepared, bomb dropped, 2 players, 3 players fallen. Merkin, though, looking to make some magic happen, has found a gap perhaps, but the bomb being dropped still is going to be absolutely really key in this round. They're going to have to deal with Feral before they can pick it up. Actually, never mind Feral, he's just giving it up. He's going to let PLX2 run away with it and rely on the rest of his squad to retake the site, as only 15 seconds remain on the clock and the bomb is yet to go down. PLX2 still holding on to it. A 2 versus 2, 10 seconds remaining. They're going to have to move, and they're going to have to move fast. Bomb dropped yet again. Jason Chinchilla finding the perfect timing, but Merkin gets the plant.
Merkin gets the plant, more importantly. Exactly what they needed. Starting to get worrying now, but there it is. There's Trip. There's the defuse. There's the round. And there's the AWP as well. But he's checking around. He's looking around, see if there's any better skins around. He's checking his few bits, looking for grenades. But it's a great round for CCG there.
Yeah, absolutely. They needed it. A real too close to call, considering the start they had once more. Feral will finding those two frags. They had the bomb dropped as well. It should not have been. It should not have come down to a 1 versus 1. The amount of 2v4s we've seen CCG concede is absolutely not good. But as long as they win the round, you cannot complain too much. They just have to find a rhythm and keep the victories flowing.
Victories flowing is the main thing here, as Jasper gets chunked out by the utility, just bombarding him. Will have to step back off of that one, as Feral is waiting in the back to help cover. Will throw flashes as well. And they're playing together, they're playing well, but they need a lot more in terms of timings and covering each other. And Merkin now leaking up through mid, trying to get towards that party. And Floridot does the jump check, doesn't spot anything. They don't move the member over though, and the step out comes through. The flash doesn't matter. Feral goes down. Next range
4 vs 5.
comes through. See what Florida can do with this one. Incendiary over the top. Flash keeping them out for the moment. Here comes the push. Here comes the play. Florida managed to get one, gets two. Merkin manages to trade one back, but the fire will take them out. It's a good setup. It's a good retake available here. They step out. There's the op. There's the shot. There's trip. There's the round.
Yeah, I'm working 1-1 from the side of CCG. The captain himself leading from the front as he finds two. Good utility usage to keep the rest of the player in panic mode for Xiaoma Gaming, and Jake Asper was able to convert a frag behind it as well. His utility game was absolutely immaculate. In the last game of playoffs that they played, the man had like 5 AG grenade frags in just 2 maps.
See what the rest of the squad have in store for this one now, as AGs might be important for the further push as the bomb gets transferred over to Merkin, as K2 I think wants to go aggressive here. We haven't seen a lot of control around this mid section since Chinchilla's kind of given up on trying to control it. We might see less of this area being used right now as the jump check comes through. The spray down, classic in the mind, and everything's going to go calm for a moment as there is no execute available right now. They're going to wait out this time just a little bit more.
CCG now gonna get put to the death road towards B yet again. Last time around didn't exactly work out for them. Both of their wins have come towards the side. Chinchilla, awkward timing as he gets flashed. Looking straight at it, MJB capitalizes on it. Nade, good conversion. Does a little bit of damage, but Floridian is going to confirm the frag behind it. But both of the players just forced into a corner, and both of them will meet their demise as well. Farrell gets a little too aggressive, punished forward, leaving Jake Jasper in a 1 versus 4.
Yeah, 1 versus 4 is not playable with that off. Maybe at a rifle, maybe in another day, but right now it's just run back, watch for the cross, but no, PL will take it. And it's unfortunate. It's just unfortunate.
Absolutely is, and Xiaoma Gaming have at least confirmed that they will have things died up. At the very least, they could still take a lead. And then even an 8-4-1, given the economy of CCG, they're certainly eyeing it. But will they be successful on it or not is the question. A force spike coming in from CCG in the last moment. A couple of MP9s, an op in the mix as well for Jay Casper, and M4 for Floridian. These two players are gonna have to be absolutely key for CCG to convert this round. But they don't have a lot of utility. No full armors on the players either. No diffuse kits. They're gonna have to be on point.
Gonna have to be quick with this one, but we're actually pushing in, and it's actually going to be a team kill there. Merkin will take out K2, Farrell will take out one, Casper will take out another. It's looking okay. It's looking like a round they can take. A little bit more time will be needed, but that's a good start to that round for us for sure. And let's see if they can continue this storm forward, as we know that we need this round to try even it up and make it a 6-6.
And the remaining two players of Xiaoma Gaming can take their time in this one, because realistically they should have no shot at this round, and their time's running away as well. Farrell gonna further put another nail in the coffin by taking MJB out, BLX2. Good for one. Picks his counterpart out, so that's the op dropped for CCG. Should be able to retrieve it. That Molotov messes up a little bit, but GG's now on the back end of things. Gonna try to put that op out of the equation and is gonna be able to successfully do so. That op that which J Casper dropped is gonna get picked up as well, so they move into the last round of the first half of map number 3 with 3 AKs, an M4 and an op to work with.
Yeah, and the buys coming through here. The ops still available for the other side. Xiaoma will be comfortable enough with that, but the rest of it looking a little bit empty. Util looking low as well, so this could be the opportunity to tie this one up and give themselves a good opportunity to break themselves back into this game and give us the hope we need to see them take this one out. But there's still a little bit more left to do.
CCG once again aggressive over towards A, but are gonna meet absolutely nothing. So that's some information in itself. The aggression showing itself over towards B goes absolutely nothing in their way. As 3 players have fallen. Feral thought he spotted something out, maybe going a little bit crazy there in terms of all the chaos which this game and the series has ensued. But Floridian finds the fourth as well. That's 2 for him in this round, leaving only 1 player behind, which is gonna be Alice. Has been decent so far in the series, but can he convert a 1 versus 4 is the real question. Finds the first, 3 more to deal with.
3 more to deal with indeed. Let's see what the step up is going to be here. Will they be able to find the right angle? Finish this one off nice and easy. It's just Ellis. Don't want to leave anything. Just want to kill him. Go get him. Don't let them survive the last of this one. There we go. There's the shot. You just got to make sure they die. It's all about the showing dominance in that last one. But 6-6. How do you feel about that? Because you're very, very CT sided on this one. How do you feel about them just making it even?
I mean, I guess it's better than what we had on Nuke. And the Overpass, sure, it's absolutely CT sided, but it's not as much of a side favored map as Nuke was. And see, we saw CCG make a comeback in that as well on the T side. So it's certainly not out of question that they can win this game still in regulation and more so make a comeback, because now they sort of have the momentum in their favor. Their start was not so impressive. They lost 5 rounds in a row, and they still managed to tie things out. And now you start to understand the pattern which I was speaking of. They generally have a slow start, but when they start to understand their opponent, how they like to play on the map, that's when they finally start to show their true colors.
Yeah, and their true colors are good when they're shining, but when they're not, when they're early and when they're not playing at their best tempo, that's when we start to get worried. But Trip stepping up, takes out Ellis, finds that lurk, looking for more. Chinchilla takes out PL. Great work. MJB does fall to Trip though, so our Trip falls to MJB. The bomb is planted. Good positions. Can you find the lurks here? There's one, there's two. Come on, Feral, one more shot. Chinchilla trying to find the last of them. There's K2. And another pistol round on Overpass. Surprising, to say the least.
Yeah, and both these overpass pistol rounds have been pretty comfortable for CCG as well. Sure, the start wasn't in this one, but the postman certainly was, winning that 3 versus 3 out cleanly. Didn't lose a single player in that situation. The 2 rounds prior to this map, the 2 pistol rounds with CCG, one came down to 1 versus 1. The other was just purely a diffuse and a smoke and a 1 versus 2, which shouldn't have been that much of a case, because again it was a 2 versus 4. So CCG finally find their footing, strong footing in pistol rounds, but can they build upon it is the real question in the second half of Overpass.
Will they be able to? It's one of those questions that has racked the brains of casters for years here. Let's see what the tail of the tape has for us as we see Barrel setting up. They've won a pistol, they've got the rifles. Where are the executes and what are the plans going forward here?
Seen a lot of aggressive positioning from the side of Xiaoma Gaming. You can see 2 players just around the corners, just around each corner of Monster. They see aggressive positioning out towards toilets at A as well. So they're relying on some early damage to be put through.
They're hoping the util will be enough to bring them forward. Question is, will it be set up for it? But does
Oh
land?
no.
Oh, he gets both. Casper manages to clean it up, but that didn't look like it should have happened that way. It's clean. It's MJB now stepping up. Will he be able to spot this one? He will. Casper, very well done. Takes a PL. Smokes down. Bombs down. Numbers decent. Health kind of low, but they're okay for the moment. MJB going to step out here. Does find the information of both. Does manage to take out one Feral. They do find the last two here. One down. Aims. No, it's down to a 1 versus 1. How much do you trust in your rifle right now, Feral? 6 bullets, and he's going to land none of them as the headshot comes through. Merkin takes it, and the
Not
bomb
dying.
will still go. But
Oh.
is the round win enough here with the economy that they have?
It could be. It's not going to be pretty. We certainly are going to see some SMGs or Galils being bought in. There you go, a Galil already in on JJ Chichala, make on trip as well. A Mac 10 on Floridian, but the good thing for them is that the economy on their other side isn't so great either. The AK is going to be their only real problem, but other than that, it's just all pistols. So CCG, they're still well off after that round win.
Still well off, still in good positions. But we want great positions. We want more. We want perfection
Oh,
from these points. But Merkin takes out Trip.
yeah, that only problem which I mentioned certainly proving to be a problem. As now the trip has fallen, there's potential for one more weapon to be retrieved, and you can see the number 7 MJB creeping up to get it. And if he does pick it up, it certainly will be a problem. Actually, just backs off. Couldn't find it, it seems. So has to work with the Deagle still. K2 finds a frag with Zeus, and it seems like this round might have just turned on its head, but the Casper and Feral neutralize the advantage. McCurran out with the AK, still trying to hold on to the B side as much as he can, and a flank coming in from Ellis. At that range, a Deagle just might be preferable, but he still couldn't convert the frag. BLX2 falls as well. Floridian puts Ellis to bed, leaving only Merkin with that AK in a 1 versus 3. Doesn't have a lot of HP to work with. Now down even further to just 23. No defuse kit, no utility to keep him safe. And now Floridian looking to finish him off, but won't be able to do so. So now a 1v1. Again, it's Feral against Merkin.
Still, Farrell manages to pick that one up, but it's still messy here, and it just keeps getting messier as the game goes on. It's how do we call this one? It's nearly impossible.
Yeah, I mean CCG, they win a round with 3 players alive. They lose the next one in a 1 versus 1, and they lose the one afterwards in a 1 versus 1 where it came where they were facing off against 4 pistols. So how exactly do you call this? Is a really good question, but now CCG are the ones on the back foot here because they do not have a good buy heading into this one. They have an AK. Probably one more can be dropped from Feral. Floridia can buy one as well, but a couple of SMGs, a decent amount of utility for them to still work with. But on the other hand, it's 4 M4s and an op to deal with.
The op to deal with is the one that's sticking in the back of my head, as we've seen it do so much damage off of both oppers on both sides. Have just been honestly spectacular with them. And what do we do? How do we call it? How do we? Yeah,
I mean, honestly, what CCG have been doing so far, at least the general concept of it has been working out for them. They just have to make some slight readjustments where their mid-round adjustments, they need to change that up a little bit so that they do not end up losing so many players in that post-ban scenarios. Generally, their entries have been good, as mostly flawless as well, where even if they lose a player, they immediately trade it out or are able to do so, and even get the bomb down with a man or two advantaged, but they just can't seem to hold on to their lives in the post-plant scenarios. They just seem to throw away the advantages that they have in post-plants when they're running a little bit low on utility, when most of it has already been dispensed. That's where the problems really start to arrive for CCG. If they can talk things through about that, if they can figure themselves out and try to take more fights together, perhaps one versus two peaks, one versus three peaks, or just force the other team into awkward angles and awkward fights. I think that's what CCG are just gonna have to sort of work on.
Forcing teams to play into them off of weird angles and being prepped for that is definitely one way of making this one work, but it's still very, very tough here in these situations, and just want to see them
Oh
do their
no,
very best as Chinchilla gets chunked to start us off.
not gonna be happy with that one.
I'm not
Let's see.
happy with that one.
Yeah, neither is Jason Shilla. He probably isn't too glad about his performance so far in this map, considering how well he was playing in the initial two. Currently, 7 frags, 8 deaths, 7 assists though. So he isn't too bad off right now. Just one negative KD could easily make up for it at any given point. But as long as he's just doing his job on the map, not a lot to complain about. Not in this round though. Ellis picks him off. That's a free frag, but he's fallen way across from the rest of his team, so there's not a lot of information to be given away. Good shot, Trip, fine too. Casper follows up. K2 did burn Farrell out, but it's all tied up courtesy of that 2K from Trip. The bomb dropped. He is going to be able to pick it up, and finally the Trip, which I was hoping to see, the one who can who can have a lot of impact, finally revealing itself amidst all this chaos.
Let's see what the next step is here as they're trying to cover up their flanks. Watch the backs, not knowing that they're already on site. The tap could come through here. Smoke's available. Cindery's available. They can definitely control some of this as the tap comes through. There's the peak. Casper got to be careful, but no, he gets MJB. He doesn't get the second as Ellis. He's going to go for the defuse. The kid is there. You have to go. You have to move. And he gets it just in time. CCG get to double digits. But it was close.
Yeah, he got nervous and messed up his Molotov in the process, and he probably did a very long sigh of relief to have burnt in that same Molotov as well after finding that frag. But CCG certainly going to be happy with the lead that they've gotten. This is probably their biggest lead in the series so far. A 4-round lead for them for the first time probably, and this series is perfect for playoffs. You know, both of these teams going head to head. Each map, each round has been just so close. You can never tell who's gonna win it out towards the end of it. But CCG certainly looking to end on a good note today by the end of this series, as they're only 3 rounds away from winning it out and going to round number 3 of playoffs.
Yeah, they're getting closer and closer to where they need to be, and great work in this one. Just finishing it as strong is just as important here. Hoping to see them clean this one out. A couple of SMGs sitting there though, and here comes the boost coming through. Casper will try and spot someone out. Won't find anything just yet. A little bit more poking and prodding to do, but good start. See what the rest of it has in store for them. Where's the rest of the execute coming from now for Xiaomi? Doesn't matter as Ellis with the one tap. Bomb already planted. CCG on the back foot after getting double digits.
An AK picked up, an MP9 to work with as well. Farrell, he's gonna have to be key. The timing doesn't work out. Ellis speaks out, gets the frag. Chinchilla on the other hand, keeping things close still. not completely out of their hand, but Floridity's gonna have to be much more impressive. Chinchilla, though, this time is. He gets through the diffuser, taken out. 2 versus 2. Chinchilla has found 3 in this round already. He's looking for 2 more, and the players are just gonna have to run away. PLX, he's taking that AK out of the equation. Chinchilla gets 4, and this is exactly the showing what we expected him. And he's come back to us to win the 11th as an angel.
The angel that is Chinchilla, just chinchilling all over them. Great work, great push, great shots. That diffuser kill was so massive.
And I mean, hey, call me a genius or what, but I called it. The man can turn on at any given moment. I very much needed 4K from him to just put CCG 2 rounds away. They had a slow start, but the second half has been really impressive. Haven't lost a single round in the second half so far. It was all tied up 6-6 by the end of the first one, and they look to keep that momentum going as a full buy round has come in finally for the side of Xiaoma Gaming, but they lose this, their economy's broken again. The fight for overtime is not going to be pretty.
Won't be pretty. That's one way of putting it. It's looking and it's building up to be a messy one, and I don't think we wanted any other way when it comes to CCG closing this one out. We just wanted to be the best we can see from them and competitive as possible. But we also want to see them win it. But I want to see everyone at their absolute peak playing right now, as we've seen Chinchilla starting to pop off. Trip has had some amazing moments as well. Want to see more of that. See what they get here. There's a shot, and that's Feral to open this one.
Yeah. Chinchilla falls. Casper to make up for it, though. The trade's still coming through. Floridian, the captain, trying to keep his team alive on the side, but their presence is going to get nullified quickly as MJB and Merkin finish all of them off. So the 7th on board, the fight to keep on going within regulation for Xiaoma Gaming.
Yeah, that was a tough one to watch. We had so much hype going into it. It was only about time that we did get pushed back off of our pedestal, but all hope is still there. We still believe in them that they'll be able to clean this one, but a bit of a setback. That's all it is.
Aggressive approach coming in from the side of Xiaoma CCG. They only have pistols, so not a lot to lose, but they did invest quite a lot of money in this round. And it's gonna find the first one. Florida falls. The trade does not come through. Eventually it will, and it's tied up 3 versus 3 as the players have somehow made their way onto the side. They're gonna be able to pick up some weapons as well. So CCG with a real shot at this. J Casper gets that off, but will immediately get taken out courtesy of the nade from MJB. But Trip, he's gonna have to be a key player here. He has his hands on an M4. Chinchilla, though, has been pretty impressive with the Tech 9 as well.
Been impressive with it as K2 manages to take out Chinchilla on the other side of it, but there it is. There's Trip. Salts back to a pistol, pulls out the knife, goes for the op kill and does manage to get it, but the defuse will come true and got a little bit messy there right at the end. They didn't look as comfortable on that forward attack.
Yeah, but honestly, for CCG, you have to be happy about that. You went into that round while holding just Tech 9s and Glocks. You managed to get the bomb down. You managed to kill 4 players as well. And given how terrible the CT economy is, that's going to be a massive hit to the side of Xiaoma Gaming as well. So CCG pretty happy, in my opinion, with that one. But happiness is not going to remain for long if they do not convert rounds. Still just sitting 2 rounds away, but a 3-round deficit is what is keeping both of these teams away from each other.
Yeah, those 2 rounds, we'll have to keep an eye. See how it closes, but Casper will take out PL on that closer angle than we've seen the ops on previously. Lower that. Now trying to work through tunnel. Slowly but surely. SMG's in hand, and I'm not sure what it is about it, but I'm always terrified when I see them with an SMG. It just screams that something's going to go wrong. But for now, everything's looking just fine. They've got the pick. just gotta take their time with this one and make sure they know what they're doing.
Yeah, it's really the key here. Don't overthink too much. Keep calm and collected amongst yourself. CCG making their presence known. A couple of flashes have come out already, but now they have absolutely no utility to work with, so they're relying on, I believe, Chinchilla to find something for them, as he's the one lurking over towards A. It's actually going to be Floridian instead who finds the first blood. Couldn't get the second. Merkin remains alive to see another day. Feral, though, with the bomb on the B side, isolated out. And then Sedu versus Do. Oh, the flank, the timing, a little bit awkward. Chinchilla spotted out and dealt with, as well as the 9th round gets put on board. Xiaoma Gaming are not going out without a fight. Only 2-round difference remaining between both of these two teams now.
2-round difference. It was close. It was scrappy, but it worked in the end, I suppose. And Xiaoma, they do take it. They're closing them down. I think a big save round needs to come in now from CCG. Give themselves the opportunity to break back into this one. Question is, how are they going to break back into this one? It's going to be a big round if they can take it, but letting it go might not be the worst idea in the world either.
Yeah, they still have a lead. Sure, it's not a lot, but it's a lead nonetheless. So they have a small cushion of comfort for the time being. It's likely going to get reduced by the end of this round, but as long as it gives them a better shot at the next one, it's probably worth it. K2, worth it for him to hold down that angle over towards Monster as he lines up 3 frags through the smoke. Already tagged down to 3 as well. Could have been a 4K for K2 and perhaps an attempt for an ace. But CCG probably don't want to give it away that easily. So Prep gonna peek outward short to try and say hi to somebody else, and he does. Merkin. Fallen.
No rifles recovered here though, Inflict. Now that's what I'm kind of worried about. Could be trying to pick up something from this one at least. But health very, very low now. Very dangerous positions for them, and this is where the best of the best show themselves.
Both of them collectively had less than 50 HP to work with. I believe 49 to be precise. But CCG lose that round to have a better purchase in this one. So it has to be a must-win round for them here. The economy, on the other hand, it's gonna be good for Xiaoma Gaming regardless now, because even if they lose this round, they're gonna have enough money to buy up into the next one. And at that point, you have pretty much nothing to lose. Your money, as long as you're winning rounds, you're gonna have money. And if you lose a round, you're pretty much done for. So it won't matter at that point. So Xiaoma Gaming, they do have the safety of economics in their favor, but now they have a man advantage to work with as well. Never mind, eliminated. Feral, absolutely humongous.
MJB on the other side though, it'll take another head for himself as they try to get back into this one. Trip in a great position, manages to get one, doesn't get the second though, as K2 reads it well, but takes a lot of damage in the meantime. So there's still opportunities arising for them to try and pick up something from this one, but it keeps getting messier and messier as the game goes on.
Yeah, 11-6 to potentially an 11-11 now, as both of these players are walking through Monster, and MJB makes quick work of them. We're all tied up. CCG, from what felt like a great second half, has now just faltered, conceding 5 in a row as well. And their economy not so pretty either. Either they force buy into this one, have a lot of Galils, or they fight for OT, and it seems like they're going to choose the latter. A gamble, but one that must be taken regardless.
Has to be taken. They have to get something going, or it will just all fall to the wayside. There it is.
Okay.
It's a nice opening though. It's 2 kills.
2 weapons as well. Oh! Good shot out to MJB. The nade might be lethal enough to take Trip out, and there you go. He's gone. That AK is up for grabs as well. Although nobody has picked it up. Feral currently the key player for CCG as he holds onto that M4. None of these remaining players have an armor, so it's not going to be too great. Chinchilla takes a hit, but Feral coming into the mix. He's found one. A man advantage for CCG to work with. Timing is going to be everything. PLX falls, so an angle less for them to worry about. And CCG, they've gotten the 12th. Xiaoma Gaming concede they want to hold on to those weapons, and they're backing off.
There's an opportunity arising here for them. This could be it. This could be the round that brings them back into it. The AWP was saved. The money is there. A lot of economy still available. But as the passes come over, this is where pauses come true and people have to think.
Yeah. And now both these teams, you can tell there's pressure on both of them. CCG, they do not have the momentum in their favor, but they do have the map and series point now. And you cannot imagine the moment of bliss I got as soon as I saw both of those players just deciding to walk away and concede the 12th. As CCG now on the brink of a victory yet again to move into the 3rd round of winners bracket. Full buy for both teams. Anything that they could have wished for. Go at it for potentially one last time.
What will the call be from this position now? Who will step up? Who will make the difference? Calm, collected, scared as well. These are the moments that matter the most.
Truly do. Clock ticks down. Pressure on CCG to make the first move. They are the D side. They have to get the bomb down. Or eliminate the CTs. A lot of utility already has been dispensed. They're taking their time with this one, recollecting their team over towards A. Flash goes out, clearing angles one at a time. A rotation being called in, one player moving back from B. But PLX, he's found a frag just through a Molotov. Ellis gets the perfect timing. He's found 2 versus 4 now as J Casper retaliates. But not a lot done just yet. PLX finds another. Casper has to make an ace happen for this round to go CCG's way. He's found the 3rd. 2 more, but 20 seconds. Bomb dropped as well. 4 bullets in the magazine. He needs to reload and adjust accordingly. The Molotov gonna make his presence known as well as he gets stacked down to 50 HP. The bomb baited, finds a frag, could be planted. No, another bait, and no. CCG are gonna be heading to OT. J Casper gets a 1v4, just couldn't find the 5th.
Yeah, he's going to be kicking himself after that one. So close and just a hair's breadth away from landing that one. It'll be a moment talked about for the next while, but we head into OT and they were just a hair's breadth away from taking that right there, and the morale has to be hit hard here if you're on the side of Xiaoma.
CCG, they were up 11-6. To go down 11-11 and then hit OT. It's gotta hurt, and specifically for J Casper. Almost had an ace to close things out. Had somebody else found just one frag, the series would have been ended and we would have been preparing for an interview. But it could still happen. We're not done yet. CCG now in the fight for OT, and so is Xiaoma Gaming. Both of them having found a frag each. kick things off. Aggression.
Each kick things off. Chinchilla is going to get one, but it's Merkin again. Takes the 3. Will look for the 4, but Triple take it, and it will be first OT round. Is a loss there for CCG, and maybe a little bit too egregious on that push.
Perhaps. The timing didn't exactly pan out their way either. Merkin catching 3 people off guard. And CCG once again in the back foot as the OT has it been initiated. The first round goes the way of course, Xiaoma Gaming. But the question is, how do CCG retaliate? How do they make up for this loss? Or if, can they? Chilla spots one. No damage dealt on either sides.
Let's see, K2 lined up and ready. Chinchilla creeping forward, the spray down coming through. The timing is there for the execute on this one. Let's see if they're prepared to take it though. You know that everything on the line right now. Everyone's going to be feeling it. It's going to be a very, very tense moment for them. PL lined up with that op, ready to go, but is the shot ready? Are they prepared to take it? Tensions couldn't be higher right now.
Really can't. But the tensions are going to come to an end as soon as this round does. Smokes land again. The Molotovs keeping the players of CCG away. Bomb starts to go down. MJB is the one that initiates the engagements. Though he's found one. J Casper returning the favor. MJB attacked down to just an HP himself. And another smoke to allow CCG to reposition as they wish. Casper goes massive. A gamble of a fight, but it goes their way. Drip follows up with another, leaving only 2 behind. PLX with the op, desperately trying to find something, create some space for his team to work with it. But Merkin out with the flank, and through the pillar they work their way onto the rest of the 3 players, and the 2 versus 4 yet again coming through for Xiaoma Gaming to get their 14th on board.
I don't know how they keep getting away with this.
It's ridiculous.
Every single time there's an opportunity for CCG, numbers are there, everything is there. They rush in and don't clear the right angles. And now it's another advantage for Xiaoma. Xiaoma.
2 rounds, yeah. We're not speaking of phones right now.
No, we are not.
But CCG certainly wish they were a little bit more mobile when they had that 11-5 lead, 11-6 lead. The readjustments didn't work out. They were a little bit too stubborn about it. And perhaps it may have been the root cause of their I wouldn't call it failure because we're still in OD and they still managed to win 6 rounds in the second half. So it's not exactly a failure, but their inability to close out the game.
Yeah, their inability to close this one out is from the advantages that they've had and from the momentum they've had. They should have been able to close this one out, but J Casper does manage to pick off Ellis there, keeping hopes and dreams alive for the moment. Lordot stepping back off, knowing that the rotate has to come through. They have to pick up the bomb now. The play has to be made, and it's actually going to change over. It's going to be picked up by Trip here as they start to make this push. Chinchilla, you've been a menace when it comes to some of these pushes. Will you be able to get it in time? No, K2 taking their time, gets one, gets two, goes for three and takes it. And that could be all they wrote.
Yeah, the J Casper yet again being asked for an ace, but this time around a lot less time, a lot less HP, and a lot less probability of him being able to actually close it out, and hence the 15th on board Xiaoma Gaming. They've secured all 3 rounds of the first half of OT. They just need one more to finish this series off on a high note, from being down 11-6 to now being just 1 round away from winning this whole series and pushing CCG down to the losers bracket.
It's been back and forth. It's been neck and neck. It's been as close as possible. And it'll be heartbreak for CCG to lose in this fashion. But I have to give all credit to Xiaoma here, as they have been phenomenal. And some of their players have been stepping up and really putting the hurt down constantly. And you can't fault how well they've been playing it. You really can't.
CCG now on CT side. A little bit aggressive over towards A, but haven't spotted anything just yet. That's gonna change soon though, as 3 players are pushing up over towards long. It's gonna be Feral to face them up first. The flash does connect, but it's the other angle which is vulnerable for Feral, and he falls. Side is gonna get opened up courtesy of that kill. The reinforcements have arrived. J Casper fallen. 3 players remaining for CCG. And now this is where things may have just been put across the finish line, as the captain puts down his rifle as well. Going down in the grave he goes. 2 remaining. 1 on the flank. 1 over towards stairs. Trip. Last one alive. 1 versus 4. Gets 1. And PLX will finish him off. 16-12. CCG, from what was an impressive showing in the first map to a close game in the second, and a very big lead in the third, to now a loss in the series. And their next destination is the losers bracket round 2.
Yeah, it's heartbreak from where they were to where they could have been. And it's just that last shot. I think that's going to just relive in our memory constantly, that they just couldn't get it. They just missed it right there at the end. And it's heartbreak for them. But into the lower bracket, they still have a lot they can do. And there's still a lot they can pick up in the future. But we will cut to a very short break while we do prep our interview. So please don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, as the tradition goes, there are no interviews after losses for CCG, and the tradition remains true to itself in the playoffs as well. We will not be disturbing the players, let them talk things through and work on any mistakes that they wish to do so. So we will just be ending on today, not on as good a note as we would have hoped, and we would have we would have probably witnessed had a few things gone the way of CCG, because both of the games that they did lose, both of them went OT. So, and CCG were playing with, of course, a substitute. So had Corn been playing, it could have been an entirely different result. It could have might as well have been a 2-0, but nothing to against Farrell. Of course, the man played, and Farrell played absolutely lights out. He did his role very well, and it was absolutely phenomenal to see how many first bloods Farrell was able to pick off for his team. So I wish to see more action from Farrell himself, because it really was impressive how great of an entry fragger he turned out to be for this team. But unfortunately, they just didn't have enough practice with the team, and hence it didn't look as clean as we may have hoped. But CCG, a good effort, a good run nonetheless in the series. They're still not completely out of the playoffs. They still have one more matchup in the losers bracket, which is going to be, I believe, played on Saturday. If there are any reschedules, it will be announced on our social, so make sure you do go and follow that. But until the losers bracket match, this is Inflict joining me on the production, and on was Apcon, and my co-caster was Sater. And we will see you guys perhaps on Saturday.